Hope nobody minds. Yeah.
No.
I think I think we all share a little bit of sorrow in his passing, and it's definitely something that we didn't see coming. And by the way it sounded, he was doing or getting ready to do what he enjoyed the most, which was rattling our cages as need be, and
Yeah.
trying to further the hobby. I think a lot of people have also expressed the idea of him being a teacher, and I can definitely stand behind that 100%. I've talked to a lot of guys in the industry, and in the hobby itself, and Ralph has always been a character for sure. Not a lot of people know knew how to take him. But man, did he have some information and some experience. And I think that's something we're all going to hold on to. I know I definitely will. The conversations that him and I had, even the few that we did, he was a very informative. He had a lot of insight, and as everybody does, his own approach to things. Not only with hobby, but I think in life also. And in those respects, I see him as a father also. I know that's been said a few times by some people, but definitely going to be missed.
Yeah, I think one of the greatest things about Ralph was that he always had time for somebody. If somebody had a question, he would always take the time and discuss that question with them, or give him some ideas. He was always willing to take time to try to teach you how to do things and improve yourselves. And that was the super nice thing about him.
And he didn't push it on you. He would say, "May I make a suggestion?"
Yeah. You remember my story?
Yeah, always.
That was when we were first married, and he was, well, I didn't realize how much of a detail man he was then, but I learned. And he would come over and, may I make a suggestion? Of course, it became an inside joke with our friends, because then it was that was them was fighting words and the war was on, with me. But
hey, before we get too far along, Jane, I just wanted to point out and introduce Peter Borschitz, who's here from Great Britain. One of the reasons we started so early today, Peter, thank you for joining us. I know.
Thank you for inviting me.
I know Gordy Robinson is going to join us. He's in the middle of a board meeting, he told me, but we'll try to join when he can.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Hey, Neil, could I read something before we get real started?
No, we've started. Go ahead, TC.
Okay.
Yeah.
To the one that created the universe, have mercy on our dear departed Ralph Renzetti. Have mercy on his wife. Have mercy on their children. Have mercy on us who loved him. Have mercy on us who knew him. For we grieve and are broken apart. For the one who is dear to us is no longer with us. Have mercy that we might live.
Amen.
Amen.
For those who don't know TC, he is a rabbi in the Phoenix area. So thank you for that.
Well, south of Tucson, but yeah.
I'm sorry, Tucson. Yeah.
And I don't have a drink right now, but two absent friends.
I kind of wonder what's going to happen to Ralph's wine collection and back in there. So I wish I'd gotten to know you better, Jane.
$4 million a bottle. That's what Ralph.
Yeah.
Linda, thank you for joining. Linda's out of the San Diego area, so I hope to meet you actually in about 2 weeks, I think, right?
Yeah.
So I'll be in Southern California. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad you're here. Do you have anything that you wanted to add besides what you said online?
Well, just to reiterate what I said online is I showed up on the AML chat maybe 6 months ago ish. Mm-hmm. As a nobody. I don't mean that in like the I'm not anybody sense, but I mean like brand new to the hobby, don't know anything, no reason to try to impress me. And Ralph, as he does with everyone, took me under his wing. You know, anything I asked, he was happy to show me, which I have so many screenshots of, like, you know, him holding up a bottle of Tester's Dull Coat, you know, like,
Right.
here's the thing you want to use exactly. Like, you know, specific, clear instructions, really helpful. Encouraged me, as in, you really should do this. Go get an airbrush, and he told me like which one, and here's a holiday code for 50% off. And when someone of that depth of knowledge coaches you, you should probably try doing what they say. You know, you might find, okay, that's not for me, but you should try it, you know. So now I have a whole airbrush kit, which I haven't used yet, which he was giving me a hard time for very recently, but which I will use in fond appreciation. He didn't even laugh at me when I, as a nobody, messaged him out of the blue on Facebook with my little self-contained airbrush thing that was like a spray can almost. I was practicing my technique on the back wall of our house, which is green stucco. So you can spray distilled water at it and, you know, practice. It's harmless. And, you know, so I showed him what I was doing, and he gave me a few tips. And, like, there's no reason he should take time out of his day to bother, but he did. You know, and
Yeah.
I really, I focus on beginners a lot, and I really appreciate people who in other areas of life, but I really appreciate people in whatever area they're in who will help and encourage new people. I think that is, it's one thing to, you know, talk to to preach to the choir, but, you know, to take new people under your wing and help them be successful is so important. And I really respected and admired that about him. And of course, it's something I'll try to take forward and continue to pass along. And I have some of our orange cello, no limoncello, from our own orange tree in his honor. Cheers. Here's to Ralph.
Cheers. Cheers.
Linda, are you the airbrush Ralph? So when you're going to name the airbrush Ralph. So when you airbrush, get Ralph out and work on him.
No, but I'll definitely hear his voice in my ears telling me not to clean the needle this way, to clean the needle this way,
Yeah.
so you don't impale yourself on it.
Yeah. Who hasn't
And
done that, right?
I have so many post-it notes with stuck on things that say whether you should dilute this paint or not dilute that paint. So
Ralphism.
yeah.
Ralphism. He'll be called for a long time.
Hey, I see Roger Coleman here from Tennessee, right, Roger?
Yeah, I would echo everything that Linda said, because again, I'm nobody. I just started this hobby. Well, I guess it's been a few years now, but I was a rank amateur, and he always engaged with me. And the thing is, not only was he a master and willing to share all of his knowledge, he treated me and everyone like a peer. He wasn't like, well, I know things that you don't, and that makes me better. Like, and that was the most really refreshing thing about him, because, you know, I've been around a lot of smart people who can kind of come across as arrogant and condescending, and he was never like that ever with me. And I felt privileged to, you know, talk to him on the phone a couple times, and, you know, like Linda said, you know, he was willing to take time out for anybody, even a nobody like me. And so that's a rare quality, I think, for someone.
I agree. Linda's comments are right on too. And, you know, all of you, I've never met in person, and this is the way I've gotten to know you and feel part of this hobby and part of the a greater, what did we call it, nation? So I know that Say is on here, and I've never met you, but I've been following your modeling for years and appreciate you showing up today. I don't know if you want to say anything. I hope I pronounced your name right. Say.
hopefully
It's a pseudonym. So
before he says anything, I'm kind of hoping he tells me exactly where he lives, because I have some questions I need to run by him anyway, being an Illinois guy myself. But I'll wait for the.
I thought that he was an engineer way up in Nova Scotia somewhere, but maybe I'm wrong.
I could be wrong as well. I'll
I
stand
think
by.
he, I think yes, I think he's like a colleague of Morgan, I think, from what I understand.
I see. So, and let's see, who didn't I recognize? I think Mick, Michael, you're here, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Oh, South Carolina, of all places. How would I ever have not guessed that?
If I remember correctly, I think it's he lives in South Carolina, but it's he models some Illinois models an Illinois railroad, Illinois
Illinois Midland.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, me and Sid said we've met at RPM in Collinsville. I've met actually the Bob in person.
Yeah, Illinois.
But yeah, we're all interconnecting with Ralph in different ways.
I think Jason's sitting in a beer garden somewhere. I'm a little jealous, to be honest.
Yeah, I am. It's kind of nice here today, so it's kind of nice being outside.
Marcus, I didn't mean to ignore you, but I'm glad that you show up not only Wednesdays, but Saturdays as well. And you always have great input. And I love your model railroad, despite you being the most eligible bachelor. Is that what they call you, right? I don't know if you have anything you want to add.
That I have met Ralph through the AML Wednesday night chat. That was the way that I met him. And I just started coming on there. Well, I guess it's been 2 years ago now. Been a long time model railroader, model train guy, but not a lot into the super detailing. And I've done some weathering, but those things that Ralph did so well, I was inspired by. And like others have said, he was always very supportive and welcoming to everyone. He would, every time I'd come on there, he'd act, almost like he'd known me forever. Marcus, how are you? That kind of thing. And he did that for a lot of us. And it was, I don't know, the Wednesday night chat with the ML group this past week was, I mean, we all had a good time, good chat, but there was definitely a void there, and everybody, I think, recognized that. So one of the things that he did recently with me is I'm an N scaler, and I was running some N scale trains around on a Wednesday night, or maybe it was a Saturday night chat with Neil, and he noticed a few engines go by, and he sent me a private message and said, if you want to send me an engine to paint CSX and weather for you, just do that, and I'll do that for you. And that was just a few weeks ago. I did not had not done it, but I feel like he definitely would have done that for me. So thank you for being a part of this, and thanks, Neil, for putting this on. And
of course,
these to the family. He was we all know him digitally, that's all we know, but we definitely knew that he was a great guy, just from the things that he said and did in our presence.
Well, Marcus, you were one of the few people that were online last Saturday when we saw Ralph there and had never turned on his microphone or camera. And maybe that's a blessing, but I don't know if there's anything we could have done. But I don't know, David Lund, I think he is in an orchestra, I believe, right? And doesn't he have a hobby shop, or what is Ralph? Anyone know who David Lund is?
David Lund works. He works actually for a beer distributor.
Yeah, okay.
There was something going on today that he couldn't be here, but definitely sent his condolences.
He wrote to me and asked if I wouldn't mind reading something aloud if you guys will tolerate my poor reading skills.
Hey, Neil,
he says,
first,
yes.
can anyone who's not speaking, can you mute yourselves? We're getting a lot of background noise.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
There, perfect.
Thank you. Great.
Yeah, thanks, David says, Ralph stays in my thoughts forever whenever I grab my airbrush. I've lost a few fellow modelers this year, and they individually have a forever resting place in my mind and heart, tied to what they love most about the hobby. Ralph was someone I never got the chance to meet physically, but thanks to our modern world, I've been given the opportunity to still meet him and hang out, quote unquote, with him almost weekly. It was a great privilege to share a podcast with him and to shyly ask Pete questions. His time and patience and professionalism shined through whenever helping someone and everyone who had a question. I'll miss him, but I always remember him when I grab my Tamiya paints, his preferred choice of paint. In the end of this, I'll end this with a funny moment from a Wednesday night chat where Linda Eskin, did I pronounce your name right, Linda, had recently gotten some airbrush equipment and had loads of questions. And Ralph took all the time he needed to answer each one. He wanted her to succeed. He mentioned a product to her to buy, he called needle juice, for the needle in the airbrush to move freely while painting. Me being me and forever never wanting a funny moment not to be recognized, I blurted out, "If you want to say needle juice 3 times, Ralph will appear at your workbench." After a few moments of the group of us laughing, I heard Ralph, clear as day, respond, "Good one, David." The legendary Mudfather will forever be with us in spirit, and may one night we will all be able to be visited by needle juice one more time. You remember that, Linda? Yeah.
Yeah. To the extent I am ever successful with airbrushing, I'll know who to credit.
Right. Did anybody else want to say something before I ask Matt, Guy, or Jane to say something?
Can I just say one more thing? Most
Please.
of us here, I would bet all of us here know Ralph through model railroading, but Ralph was an absolutely amazing modeler in all sorts of different things. I had the pleasure of going to a show in Toronto somewhere. Ralph had a couple models on display, and I think he won an award for something. But his talent went far beyond model railroading into all sorts of scale modeling, and his detail, his attention to detail, and his mastery of all the techniques to make things look absolutely real and fabricate things from scratch for what he was doing. He was a true master modeler.
You know, I'll tail on the end of that real quick if you don't mind. I know when I started seeing some Ralph's work online, there'd been another gentleman that I had been following for some time out of the Portland area, Mike Bernaldi. Mike is known across several platforms as far as it comes to wartime modeling. I think he's dabbled in some Gundam stuff as well, but he was teaching oil paint rendering as a method to weathering for what he does. There was another guy that's in the hobby, model railroading, that actually sent him some railroad items, a locomotive, a couple freight cars, and just kind of let him do what he does, do his other stuff, just to kind of show what he's doing. But when I mentioned Ralph's name to Mike, Mike knew who he was. I don't know exactly how, but I knew he knew Ralph, and I'm sure it's probably because Ralph has reached out to him before in some way to pick his brain more about what he was doing. I say that because Ralph did the same thing to me. He picked my brain on what I was doing in model trains just to see where I think he could pick up some more ideas, but he also coached me along the way. And that's something that I'm going to hold pretty close to me sitting at the workbench and trying to do stuff. And even if I do mess up something, I'm pretty sure I can also hear him say, "I didn't tell you to do that." So I'm going to hold on to that.
Hey, Craig, if you're listening, I know that you've been at all of the Wednesday chats, and I'm glad that you showed up today.
Yeah, I express my condolences to the family, and just pile on that I learned so much from just listening to what Ralph had to say about doing things and the couple of suggestions he gave me.
And he was always willing to give ideas if you asked. All you had to do was ask.
If I can just jump in, Neil. Jane, there's not just Linda. There's a growing number of women getting into model railroad, and a friend of ours isn't here today. She's asked me to pass on her regards as well, and that's Michelle Kempelmer. Michelle remembers fondly Ralph trying to instruct her how to weather buildings and put things together, and of course weather buildings and not locomotives with pan pastels. So she remembers those words very, very fondly. So she just asked me to pass that on as well. So thank you.
Michelle is executive director for the Colorado Model Railroad Museum, and one of the few people that's actually come to Hawaii to meet me. And she brought her 13 closest friends. That was a little challenging to accommodate, but it was good fun to meet her.
She would have been here today, but she's apart from her model railroad legacy, she's also ambassador for her local area in Colorado, the Greeley area. And today is their Monster Day or something, one of the local events that she's chairperson of or director of again. So yeah, she would have been here otherwise.
Well, I want to thank Jane and Guy for answering the phone on Sunday morning. I really didn't know what to expect when I called Ralph's phone. I actually still couldn't believe what had happened. Bruce had texted all of us during the chat, but thank you for answering. I don't know if you want to say anything to all these guys that showed up today. Appreciate you.
Well, it's been really overwhelming, and I'm seeing a side. I mean, Ralph and I have known each other since we were 14, if you can believe, and married for 53. And this is a side of, I mean, I knew I was kind of following along some of your journeys where Ralph would say to me, oh, I'm just talking to so-and-so, and this is what they're doing. And so I knew he was helping you guys, but I didn't know to the extent. I had no idea. And this has just been such a overwhelming that I'm seeing him from you guys. And you know, a wife doesn't always get to see that from friends, and I mean close friends, of course, but for people to have him have this kind of impact I'm just so proud of him. I'm so proud of him. And I know Guy and Matt are too. And you know, he loved going down to the basement, and he was a night owl, so he would be down there for quite a while, and I'd be in bed already. And there have been times where it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going down. You know, as the older we got, it was like, "Are you still alive down there?" You know. And but you know what? It was his joy to help everybody and to share his knowledge. I think that just gave him such satisfaction. And actually, he was mentoring a fellow by the name of Chris Adams. I don't know if anybody there knows him, but
we all know him. Yeah.
And I had messaged Chris a couple of nights ago, and I said, "Oh, I heard all about your trials and tribulations and your journey, your successes." And he kind of said something, and I says, I knew that he had kind of had to talk you off the cliff a couple of times. And I said, well, he got his practice with me because I'm a bit of a type A personality myself. And I said, he had to talk me down a few times. So you're welcome. You know, that's where he got his practice. And, but yeah, all I can say is Ralph was very comfortable in his own skin. He had a silent or a quiet strength. And he was very secure in himself. And I think that's why, you know, like he had the patience to help people. And I'm just so appreciative that I wish he could hear this himself. But I'm sure I'm sure in his own way that he knew. And you guys meant so much to him. All of the train guys meant so much to him. And like I said, I kind of followed on some of your journeys because he would come upstairs and say, well, you know, so and so is doing this, and I'm trying to help him with this, and so it was wonderful. And thank you so much for including us. I
I'm glad.
feel that first night that I was allowed into the group, it was like I just felt embraced by all of you. So
I'd like to say
thank you.
something to you, Jane. Ralph was the person he was because of his 53 years with you.
Oh,
I know that myself because of being with my wife for the 29 years that I had her before I lost her. She made me the person I was. And I'm sure that's the same thing with Ralph. He became the person he was because of the love you all shared together that made him that way.
oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. A big thank you to all of you too.
And I don't,
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know if anyone else has said it too, Jane, and to the boys as well, but Ralph's left a legacy. He's got that many podcasts recorded and YouTube clips showing the weathering techniques and stuff that he's taught people. So he's going to continue to teach people going forward, even though he's not with us physically now. He's still going to be inspiring to many people yet to come.
Yeah.
Thank you. Rod's an example, and myself as well, is that it wasn't just in North America, you know, Canada and the rest of North America, what they said, low 48. It's all around the world. I mean, I'm originally from South Africa, but I live in the UK now. And I've got a lot of Ralph's tips have been saved as bookmarks or as screenshots, or, you know, I've spoken to him on the Zoom before, and he just passed on all this knowledge to people all around the world. I mean, Rod in Australia, myself in the UK, people in Canada and all over America, in Europe. You know, there's so many people around the world who've been taught by Ralph. You know, his knowledge was just bottomless, I think. Just anything he wanted to know, anything about any kind of paint or any kind of technique or whatever, Ralph knew the answer to it. And he was, and like you said before, you know, like many of us have said, he was never someone to say, you know, I know it all, you know, I'm the person, you know, like the you know, the all, you know, the guru. He just was, you know, just quiet and just, you know, gave some advice, and never never was shouted about the fact that he knew all this knowledge. He just shared it and quietly, and just gave the knowledge, never wanted anything in return. He just was just willing to share it to anyone he could. And it was just amazing. That's what we good. That's what we're going to miss. Yeah.
Peter, I don't know if you remember, there was a time when someone asked about a specific kind of paint and he said, I don't know, but I'll go get some. And he went out and bought it and he experimented with it and came back and said, here's what I learned.
Yeah,
I thought that was amazing. Amazing, right?
Exactly. Yeah. If you didn't know it, you go find out. You know, it's like he wouldn't say, well, maybe try this. He'd would actually go get that and you know, give an answer that was factual, because he actually tried it. You know, so yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Matt and Guy, I don't know if you've had an interest in your father's hobbies and whether or not you're going to be able to preserve some of the things he has, but I hope it's something that you can share with your families. I think, Matt, you were recently traveling and you have children of your own, right?
Yeah, I think my son's here in the room. One of my sons, I've got 4 kids. My brother's got a daughter as well. Here's my son, JJ. You look here, buddy.
Hi, JJ.
You know, my brother and I grew up doing models with my dad. It was just my childhood. He didn't have in our old house, he didn't have the trains. He had them kind of, and I've been listening to podcasts and like watching videos and stuff, and I've heard him kind of explain some stories. Like, he didn't have a layout at the first house. He was just kind of picking up trains along the way. And my brother and I would always pull them out and be like, these are so cool, but like, what does he do with them? And when we moved to the new house, the one that my mom's in now, he built a layout in the crawl space, and he would tell everybody about everyone that came over. He would show them these office chairs that he had cut the stem off the bottom so he could lower them 4 inches to the ground. And I don't know why he told everyone. It was the coolest thing to him. And you'd roll in these little chairs, and I think my brother helped him do the layout. I got into music at the time, so as I grew up, I got a little out of. I did RC cars with him a lot too, as I was into my teens. And then he built the layout that he has now, and I think that my dad is amazing at what he does, but like this whole thing has been kind of eye-opening, how much of an impact he's had. And I mean, my dad, we always talk about, like, if you're in the Renzetti house, it's a yelling house. I'm sure he's probably yelling at some of you guys too, to some degree.
Get off my lawn is what he'd say. Get off my lawn.
I've kind of like read between the lines and some of the comments I've seen, like, Ralph, it's kind of like, whoa, he's really serious, but so I take that as like, oh, that's my dad just being my dad. So like, I kind of hear people trying to be nice about it. I know it could be a bit harsh sometimes, but I mean, at the end of the day, even as his son, he never said no. And I feel like that has also translated to you guys. He has time for everyone.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. I really appreciate all of you guys joining. All the comments that I've seen, going online, and I watched the podcast with Andy and Michael from Monday. I hear there's one coming out, that the AML one comes out on Monday, that they talked about my dad quite a bit. So it's cool. And in such a horrible time of your life when your dad passes, it's nice to have all these people saying nice stuff about him. So thank you all.
No, thank you. And I don't know what it's like in the rest of the world, but when I moved to Hawaii, I knew nobody, but it seemed to me that most people would adopt me. I'm Uncle Tutu, all kinds of things to people here. And because of that, I think maybe I adopt people like Ralph as my surrogate father, or Uncle Ralph. So I appreciate having known him. So I don't know, Matt, if you wanted to add anything to that.
Oh, that was.
I'm sorry, Guy. I'm looking at Guy saying Matt. Sorry.
Yeah, no. This has been hard.
I get it. I don't think we're all going to have a little hole in our heart for the rest of our lives.
Can I just jump in here, Neil? To the boys in particular, rally around your mum. I lost my father just over a year ago. It is a very difficult time for everybody, including your mum, more importantly to your mum. My mum, like your mum, had been with my dad since she was 13, and she's still having a bit of a hard time even now, and she will for the rest of her life, I dare say, because they've spent so long together. But rally around each other, as I'm sure you guys are. Be there for your mum, and just remember your dad always for what he was. Such a wonderful human being, as you say. We're all here because of your dad. We wouldn't be otherwise. And you can be, as you say, you can be proud of that. But support each other, stay strong, and help each other through this difficult time.
I think also, in addition to that, I'm sorry, boys, I don't mean to cut you off, but I also want you guys to know that I think all of us here can kind of agree on one thing, that just like your dad was close to us as a friend and as a mentor, a teacher, and more so to you guys as a father, I think if you ever need anything from us, even outside of modeling, I think you should reach out and let us know. Jane, that goes for you as well. One of the guys said earlier, asked about, the railroad, hoping that you guys can continue on with that legacy. I run across people all the time, unfortunately, that have parents and stuff pass away, and some of their collections just go away because the kids don't have an interest in it. I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that if something happens, you should sell all that stuff, but by all means, if there's a way and a means that you guys can keep it and preserve it, and you need help doing so, let us know, because that's what the hobby's about. And I think he's left an impression on everybody. I know Mike and Andy said something on the show earlier this week about, liking to get their hands on that stuff if it's still out there. I think they say that with a little bit of reservation in regards to make sure that it's taken care of forever. And that's the
It's
I think the
definitely going to
idea,
get taken care of.
give me one sec, guy, before you go. I've added myself to a few of the model like railroad groups, and I would love. I know my brother is definitely more into that stuff than I am, but I always enjoyed it as a kid. And what I love is that it's transferred to my son, the one that was here, and he would go and spend nights with my dad, and they would do models together. Actually, I never really used an airbrush. I remember my dad, I have a text my dad sent me saying, I taught your son how to use an airbrush before you. So like JJ has used an airbrush and they've done a few models together. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Have you guys seen that TIE fighter that he did in the crashed in the beach with the army?
Yeah.
I've got it right. Yeah, I gave it to my son to hang. I've got it right here. If anyone hasn't seen it, I'm happy to show you guys. But I think I would like to, I thought here, this is not going to be
Yeah,
easy
that's
to
pretty incredible. Yeah.
I don't know if it's not going to show well over the camera, but it's,
yeah. Thanks, JJ, for sharing that. Yeah.
I thought for a moment, like over the last few days, like if I did, my brother's going to talk about what he wants to do. And I know that like we're going to keep the layout and my brother has plans. I mean, time is one thing, we've got young kids and all that stuff, but I did think like, how would I even start? And, but CA, to your point, like I thought, like, I'm sure the people my dad have helped, we can ask like, how the hell do you do this? And that knowledge that you guys have learned can, come. I mean, if I asked my dad, he would have told me. He would have sat me down. Actually, I listened to a podcast where he was talking about glues and paints, the return of the Mudfather was on AML or something, and they were like just talking about glues, and I couldn't believe, like, he was talking about chemical compounds, and then I was like, and I said to my buddy, I'm like, my dad, if I said, hey, do you have any super glue or CA glue? And I know the different types of glue from doing modeling and stuff. His question would be, what are you gluing?
Right.
Because I've got 3 types of glue. He's got 35. So anyway, I'll let my brother take over. But again, thank you all. It's been really heartwarming to hear all these comments, and see, I appreciate that comment as well.
No, I think you're actually sent me a friend request not too long ago. So
I meant to message you. Yeah, I meant to message you, but I never got around to.
You're completely fine, man. I'm always here. If you ever need anything, don't hesitate.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, because of this group, I fired my therapist, so.
See, you don't need to worry about the layout. It's going to get taken care of. I just don't know when, with time and all that. Like my brother said, we both got kids, and life happens. But first thing I thought of when all this happened was, what the hell is going to happen to the layout? And last thing I want to do, I know my dad built it so when it actually started, when I got home from BC back in 2010, and my brother had already moved out, and we were using the area of the basement where we had our sort of lounge area where we had the TV set up and we're playing video games and that. So my dad took that over, and my dad and I laid the paper down on the floor and started mapping out, where the train track was going to go, and what, the yard and the roundabout and the corkscrew and all that stuff. And so I was there at the beginning of it. And like my brother said, growing up in the old house, we'd go through all the boxes and we're looking at stuff, and there was kits of buildings that hadn't been built. Some of them had. And so when all this happened, the first thing I was thinking of what the hell's going to happen to the layout. The last thing I wanted to do was take it apart, even though my dad has built it in sections where we could dismantle it if need be. But my thought was, I'm going to take a couple of the locomotives, especially for JJ. My dad had that little section of track that he would take outside and put a locomotive on and take a picture in the field. I'm going to take that. I'm going to let JJ pick an engine, and I'm going to build a box for it, and he can have that on the shelf. So at least one engine's going to be preserved that way. But then I want to keep JJ in the modeling, because I never let it go. I kept doing the models. Like one thing you guys may not know, my dad was our baseball coach growing up for both me and my brother. So there's always been that involvement. I remember sitting at the coffee table in the living room at the old house, building an SR-71 and then a space shuttle snap kit. And I think I was like 6 or 7. And now that JJ's involved in it, I want to keep JJ on that path, because it's just, for me, my dad, me, and JJ are all kind of the same person. Watching JJ and my dad go at it, arguing, they're both stubborn. I'm stubborn. But yeah, JJ's got that bug, and I want to keep that going with him. So I'm thinking between JJ and myself and my brother, and any of you guys want to contribute, we're going to keep that. We're going to finish the layout for one, because it's not done. But yeah, I want to take care of it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
How old is JJ, Guy?
He's
How old
9.
is JJ?
9. Just
perfect.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
going.
'cause I know your dad was working on a model of a steamship of late, and I don't know, that might be a little too much for him, but it might be something that a project that you two can finish off for him.
Yeah, I saw he actually had it on the desk.
He also has like a 7-foot long bridge he was building. I sent him some spikes to use for that. I can't imagine that 7 feet long.
Yeah, I know it's a long continuous piece of aluminum, like extruded aluminum, that's in a U shape, and we flipped it over, and he put the girders on the side of it, and but
he just got a boat from somebody. It was like
yeah, that's the steamship.
He showed it to me like the week before he passed. He's like,
Yeah.
"Did you look at this? I just got this," and it was he got it from. You guys would probably know where it is, but it was some sort of.
I think Interaction Hobbies out west is the company that built it, I believe. And it's a beautiful kit, a little steamship that would run on the rivers out there. Yeah.
He showed me where it would go. I have all the instructions. I would just have to do it.
It's half done.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know about you guys, but like he has. I honestly, if I had to go through my dad's shit, like a 2x2 square foot area might take me like 3 months.
He's got a lot of stuff there.
You guys,
I think none of us want to see our workshop here, you know.
Like it's insane.
You know, one of the shows that he was on with the guys from the second section, he talked about how you guys dug out the crawl space to create space for that layout. And one of the things that I always wondered was, you know, what about, you know, the seating? So you talking about the short seats makes sense now.
Yeah, he would, anyone that came over, the first thing he would say when you went in the crawl space was, "You see these chairs? I cut them so you could sit lower than the floor joists." I don't know why that was his thing, but he had to tell everybody.
Well, he was also proud of the fact that you guys helped him make the room. He had to take a claim to fame to something, so why not the chairs? Because that's where most of that's just the way I kind of see that. But
yeah,
guy. I'm going to try to get that print done, that roof, that rolled roof, metal sheet metal roof thing for you. I'm going to get one and put it together, and I'll get back with you on Messenger, and I'll let you know what I find out. But I one of those before. Your dad just asked me to print it for him, and I wished I'd have done it sooner. I just had gotten the time to find it. I had a lot of problems with my printer because I'm still kind of new at this, but it was kind of gave me to work on, and I appreciated that because he had done so much for me. I wanted to do something for him, so he was such a giving person, and I'm glad you're going to continue on, and I will figure it out, and I'll get back with you so you can do that.
Yeah, no, I think I was looking at it. I think I got a rough idea. I just got to clean off the supports off it, and it's basically a box with 2 rollers in it. But yeah, no, it's going through all the stuff is going to be hard. But I never, like I said, I've continued doing the models. I build all the cars, the planes, armored stuff. There's a couple boxes that my dad buried that are a couple engines that I had bought and that we were going to add to the layout that I know roughly where they are, but they're buried under a pile of crap and other boxes underneath the layout. But I'm definitely going to be calling on some of you guys because I have a rough idea how all that stuff works, like the DCC stuff and the tracks, the frogs and all that. But like the loops where they loop back, I'm gonna need help with that. But
just on a humorous thing, when you guys are going through your dad's stuff, all the money you find goes back to your mum. we found little stashes here, there, and everywhere. And I was going through a beekeeping book the other day, and Mum was going to give it to me, and she just happened to hold it up, and out come a couple of $100 notes. Yeah.
Well, I have to tell you that there's a little glass box on the dresser in the bedroom, and I was looking for something, and I opened up the box, and I went, "There's money in here and loose change." Oh, okay.
Yeah, us guys in our hobbies, we like just putting the money in little secret spots so we accumulate enough needs. Yeah.
Neil, may I make 2 suggestions? One, Guy, I'll say this for the family, for the sons, yourself or one of your kids, or have one of your kids call grandma regularly and check on her, just because that house is going to get extremely quiet now that Ralph's gone. If it's anything like my Italian relatives, yes, it's going to be definitely quiet. But and the other suggestion I will say is, I don't know how many of you are Facebook friends with Ralph, but Ralph would always post about Italian food all the time, particularly cannolis.
Yeah.
And I would suggest if we can get together at some point and all bring a cannoli and have a cannoli, kind of like, after passing a relative, it's common to have food at the family. Well, online we ought to get together and all have a cannoli in honor of Ralph.
Wonderful.
And his love of his Italian heritage. So,
well, let me share a friend of a very close couple, that we're friends with, Renata. She was in Oakville to see her daughter, and so she asked if she could come over to see us, because they live in Port Stanley, just on Lake Erie, which is just south of London in Ontario. And so Renata came over, and she came over with this big box of cannolis and some Italian pastries. So we kind of munched on that. And then Matt was there that evening. I think it was Wednesday night. Yeah, it was Wednesday. And then Matt went home, and Renata and I went out to have some dinner, and we came back, and she went home. And then she said, she sent me a message in the morning, and she says, "I'm just checking in on you and just see how you're doing." And I said, "Everything here is great." And I said, "By the way, have you ever had cannolis for breakfast? Because it's great." There were some leftover cannolis.
Whenever Ralph, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Whenever Ralph posted a picture, it sent my blood sugar higher. Not good as a diabetic.
Well, he always showed those big spreads of all of the antipasta and stuff too, which has always made me hungry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So does anybody make sugar-free cannoli, or does that ruin the dish?
Spoken like a true diabetic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I came across, this is more from my mom and my brother. I mean, my dad always had to be right. It was, you know, he had to be right. Anyways, I didn't tell you guys this yet because I just found it last night. I was doing searches trying to find posts that talked about Ralph, and I think it was, I wish I saved it. I think it was Chris that said it. And the post started, Ralph was right. And in brackets right after that, it said, this would be a good shirt. And I thought it would be funny to make a shirt that said Ralph was right. As much as it killed me to say that, but
can we do it?
I've had lots of custom shirts made. That's an easy one.
There's a Margaritaville in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Well, it's actually in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And there's a hallway that goes back to the bathrooms. And the sign above the hallway says men to the left, because women are always right.
Right. Can we do that shirt some way and form and actually just put a cannoli on it, just as, you know, an ode to Ralph for what it was?
you know what? I really think I want to do that. So if anyone wants one, we can make it happen. We can make it happen.
Saturday.
What's that? There was a picture a while back of a flat car with a single Idaho potato. You know, in Idaho we grow them big, but think about that with a cannoli instead of a potato.
Queen of cannoli.
You know, a big 60-foot lumber car with a cannoli on it. You know,
I'm gonna look them up. I don't even know what one is.
Hey,
Yeah,
John,
I don't know
thanks.
if you guys do like model of the month or anything like that, but I'm going to challenge all you guys to make a flat car with a cannoli on it for your layer.
I didn't even know where to get one. There, guy. I didn't know where in Hawaii.
Figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out before next week.
In my dad's fashion, he would have made it from something.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a real one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The real ones would
it
never
might be
survive.
an
They get eaten first if you're.
It might be an insult, but do you have an Olive Garden in Hawaii? But it might be an insult to do that, you know. So they might have one.
I don't know if we have. Certainly not one on this island. John, thanks for joining us. A little late than never, but I am recording this, and hopefully I can share it somewhere later. I don't know if you wanted to add to the conversation.
Hold on. Oh, what am I doing here?
Well, if you need a second, I just wanted to say as well, I know we've kind of talked about staying connected. If anyone wants to send a Facebook request to me, if anyone wants to stay in contact, I would be very welcoming to that.
Me as well.
Excellent. Well, Brian Hedge too. You haven't spoken up. I wasn't even sure you were there because I was looking at your ceiling for so long.
Oh yeah, I had to step away. Well, I just want to say, from the first day I got on the AML Zoom, Ralph was always there to answer any question, you know, model railroad related. He was the guy to ask, so he's very helpful.
Thank you.
You would always ask me, "Why are you making it so hard?" just do this, you know. I go, because I wanted it to do that, and he'll say, "Okay, whatever, it's your railroad."
I kind of will admit it. I think the rest of the guys on here will agree. Although he said it to everybody, your mum's words in her post, him saying, "May I make a suggestion?" Well, that's probably the one he said that to in the 5 years that I've known him. So yeah, I was always put my foot in that.
John, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was hoping that you're just trying to gather your thoughts.
Yeah, actually, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I wasn't sure that I was on. You know, he was great in so many ways. You know, everybody talks about, and correctly so, about all of his knowledge of model railroading and things like that. But the first time that I got on the Wednesday night call, you know, he was always there. He was the first person to greet me and to notice, hey, there's somebody that came on. So, and there was a lot of people on too. And so it was really nice to have somebody who was ready to open his arms and listen in and make sure that people felt that they were part of the group. And, you know, he sort of continued that all through. He would always make sure that he said hi when somebody came on. He would always make sure that they were included. And so, you know, that was my, in addition to all the things that everybody's been talking about, that was one of my strongest memories. And, you know, I just want to express the shock and the sadness of hearing that this happened. You know, I think it's a lesson for all of us to make sure that we value the people and things that we have while we have them. So, and thanks for including this community, Jane, and having these kinds of meetings. Again, it means a lot to be able to participate, and yeah, so thanks.
Well, you've kind of been you guys have kind of been carrying me this week. I can tell you, it's I was on such a high that night, the first night that I was on in the group, on the Facebook group, just listening to or reading all of the comments and everything. You have really carried me, and I think in many ways you carried Ralph as well. He may have been the one imparting the knowledge, but it was that hobby was his love, you know, and the fact that he cared about it so much and could share his knowledge. I think it was wonderful for him. He was happy. He was happy down in the basement and leaving me to watch TV and whatever program I wanted to watch. I didn't have to say, well, what movie are we watching tonight? But yeah, no, it was I think you're thanking me, I'm thanking you, and I think Ralph was all he gave, but he also got back.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys realize just what my mom's saying is like, you know, normally when someone passes, people say nice things and yada yada yada, but like in such a horrible time, you guys have actually really made it a lot easier. And I'm sure it will be horrible later, but it's actually been really nice to read the comments and everything. And just, it's like, everyone's like, oh, I'm sorry your dad died. And I'm like, yeah, it sucks. But guess what? Like, he has all these people that have been saying all these nice things. So it's been really helpful. Thank you.
The people you see here are a drop in the bucket too. You probably recognize that already. So, and Leon, I don't know you, but I don't know if you wanted to share something about how you knew the family.
Well, I've just I've worked with Matt and Guy in the past, and I spend as much time as I can with them, and been with them around Christmas, Thanksgiving, all that good stuff. So shocked to hear, but amazing to discover that he was a part of this community. We all kind of knew about it a little bit, and I do a little bit of content creation on the side. And he would tell me like, hey, I'm on my own podcast too, and I regret not checking it out when he was, you know, with us, but I look forward to kind of joining the groups and seeing his work and just be wowed and amazed. And anytime he took me downstairs, and he was just so enthusiastic to show off just the little things, and it'd be like kind of mind blowing at the time, and just like I can't believe you did that or whatever it was. But I'm super appreciative to get the invite to just kind of sit back and listen to all this stuff.
By the way, I never asked how high was the ceiling joist in that crawl space, the train room.
I mean, I think in the podcast he said he had cut the chairs to like 4 inches off the ground, so like it was low.
Yeah, I think
like
it's less than 4 feet from concrete to floor joist. So
4 feet.
And he always complained about his back. I'm not sure how good it is for your back to be sitting on a chair that short, but I mean, he did it for.
But it was on wheels. It was on wheels, and he used to tool around in there.
Well, I'm 6'4". Craig, what are you, 6'8"? I don't think we'd be very comfortable there.
Well,
No,
Neil, I can tell you
no.
this. I'm 6 foot, and if I were to, with my legs straight and my back bent over, my ass was touching the ceiling. So like you had to crouch down quite a bit.
Oh dear.
It was painful, but it's also like everyone has
Oh.
their hobbies and their interests. It was just kind of cool that he put them aside. He was collecting these little things for years in this grand scheme of building this thing that he
Yeah.
just put aside for his kids and his family, never complained about it. As second I moved out to Australia, he was, I think it was like the first call with my mom. She's like, "Yeah, Dad's building the layout in your studio." And I was like, and when I came back, I was like, "Guess I don't get this room back." And he's like, "Nah, it doesn't work like that." So I'm to another room, but yeah,
That's awesome.
he was
Helen,
a humble guy. You know, he never talked about any of this stuff, and maybe he should have a little bit more. He was good at it. He was really good at it.
So after you came back, you had to sleep on the couch.
No, there was another bedroom upstairs, but I mean, we built a sound like recording studio. Like I've got a bunch of keyboards and stuff there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I was into music, not so much the artistic stuff. I couldn't draw for shit if you asked me to, but
I never talked to Ralph about the fact that I was in music school for a couple of years and went on to play for years afterwards. But I mean, I had a tenant that had guitars and ukuleles during COVID and went out of business. I had inherited literally hundreds of ukuleles and dozens of guitars, all kinds of stuff. I still have
really?
so many here. I don't know what to do with.
You
But-
can send them to me. I'll pay you. Send them over here.
I'm carrying a couple to my brother and my nephew when I come the end of the month. And yeah, instead of spending $38 each to ship them, but yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, I'll pay you. You ship them. So if you're open to that, I'll gladly take some instruments.
Well, little by little, I'm selling them to people who want them on the island because they're local and they mean something here. Yeah. And Helen, I've been wanting to ask you to share your memories as well.
Well, whenever we came to Canada, like we live in Copenhagen, Denmark, right? So whenever we came, one of the first things we did was, "Oh, you want to go down to the basement and see what I did?" Yeah, sure. So that was right. So I knew it was important to him. I knew you were important to him, but I had no idea the extent of it. I had no idea. And it fills my heart with warmth that he was important to you as he was to us in the family. That's makes me happy. And then I'm gonna miss having gin tonics with him. I'm gonna miss that when we come over. Yeah, I'm gonna miss that.
Every time my wife has visitors, she goes, "I got to show you what my husband's been doing." I was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah. He was I mean, I didn't know Ralph when I was a kid. Like, I didn't know Ralph until I came to Canada the first time in 79. And then I came to live in Toronto in 84, I think. And then for a year and a half. And there I got to know Ralph. And he was kind-hearted. Like, I don't know. I lived about, 45 minutes by car from your home, I think? 30 minutes, 45 minutes?
In those days, it was probably, closer to half an hour. In those days, the traffic has gotten a
Right.
lot.
So before I got my driver's license, I would go by subway, but never on my way back. Ralph would always drive me because he didn't want a young girl to ride the subway at night. And that was the kind of man Ralph was. He was very quiet about it. He was never bragging about anything. He was quiet and so much fun. He had the best humor. So much, he reminds me a lot of my own husband, actually. Yeah, quiet about it. Yeah, so I loved Ralph. Yeah.
he had a little bit of the devil in him though sometimes.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
He
Yeah.
knew how to give us Australians a hard time. He kept telling us that we were a penal colony, and we still probably are. He loved rubbing that fact in, but
we all do, Rod. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's just I mean,
that's just normal, especially
everybody.
us South Africans.
What's your point? Everybody.
We'll keep that up in honor of Ralph.
I'd get on early because I used to start work early, and Craig would be on and Ralph would be on, and they'd be the earliest guys on. They'd be on at like 3 a.m. my time. So I'd get on sometimes, or if I was in hospital, I'd join early because I was awake. Who sleeps in hospital? But they were always there. And as you said earlier, Jane, he was always the last one to sometimes leave as well. And it was way into, I don't know, midday or 1 o'clock my time in the afternoon here. And I don't know what it was you're in, but he was still there. And I think most of us here had also recognised that Ralph was like the what would you say, the statesman of the group. He would keep the proceedings in a timely manner and in order. He would keep it all on track, and it was good.
Yeah.
I miss that.
I first met Ralph on 2016 on Model Row Radio. This was prior to the invention of AML. And so in the chat, I put a link to the archive. If anyone wants to go back and listen to what Ralph sounded like back in 2016 and his words of wisdom there. So he was a dear friend.
Said, oh, do you put it in the chat here?
Yes, it's the first entry in the chat.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, Tom Barbalet has been really generous. I met him in 2015 at the National Model Railroad Convention in Portland, and somehow I ended up on his show for I don't know how many times, but occasionally there were too many chickens, and it got rather embarrassing. So I just got a note from somebody in Tasmania.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, he said he won't be able to make it today. Dennis and Martin are busy with their local convention, taking Dave Abilese to the, he's actually, I don't know where Dave actually lives, but he's visiting in Australia right now. Do you know, Rod?
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Jersey area, yeah.
Oh yeah, of course, the New Jersey Transit and all that, right?
Yeah. On rail.
So someday I'll come visit y'all. So I hope you have a spare bedroom.
You sleep out the back. There's lots of friendly animals out the back, you know that.
Yeah, not in Australia. I'm not doing that. I'd rather swim with.
I only made Ralph very jealous one time, and that was when my husband and I went to Hamburg and saw the miniature
Wonderland.
things. Pardon?
Miniature Wonderland.
Right. And that made Ralph very jealous. So I had to send him a ton of videos from down there. Yeah.
That's on all our bucket lists.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It really is.
I think Northlands, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't want to cut anybody off, but if anybody else wants to say anything, there's no reason we should shut this down until everybody's had an opportunity to drop in and say hello. But I don't want to keep you, Jane, Matt, and Guy.
Oh no, I'm my time isn't my own these days. I have sort of a basic idea of what I'm going to do during that particular day, and it all gets blown up by 9 o'clock in the morning anyway. Somebody comes to the door, somebody messages, somebody calls. So yeah, my time is your time.
I do remember Ralph being very particular about the time of day that he goes to have dinner. And that hour is coming around pretty soon, so.
Neil, thanks for setting this up.
actually, I have to say that in the last, I would say, maybe 5 years, Ralph he became the cook in the family. And he
Really?
kind of, yeah, he was the one. So now I'm spoiled. Now I have to do my own cooking. But it would be funny because people would say, "Well, how did that happen that he took over the cooking?" Well, my version was, well, I just said, you know, I don't know, it just kind of naturally transitioned over to Ralph. Well, Ralph's version was, no, you put your foot down and said, after 45 years, I'm not doing this anymore. So
I like to say I live to eat rather than eat to live. And so my wife and I have kind of different ideas about what's appropriate for dinner. And I like good things. And so I'm going to cook them. When she cooks, eh.
And it's nice to see. It's nice to see that the boy's following in their dad's footsteps too, and with the facial hair too. I couldn't imagine Ralph without his beard.
Yeah.
Right. I think I need to go see
um,
Matt's barber. Mine's finally growing back a little.
I think it was Guy or Matt one that said specifically that they didn't realize how many things that Ralph contributed to the hobby, and also and hearing the nice things. I'll echo that. I lost my dad. It'll be 7 years, and we were very close. And he was big into aviation, and you know, I knew he had a lot of friends. I knew he was. I mean, I certainly knew he was into aviation and was very involved with the group that he was with. But when he passed away, I had the same experience you all are having probably here, hearing all of the things that people said about my dad that I never knew, things he did for people that I had no clue. And it's just, it is a time that will help you. It's not easy. No, it's not easy 7 years later for me. In fact, it's still really hard, but I can still think about those things, and it does help. It does help to hear that.
Oh, you're so lucky you had him so long. It's a blessing that you know, he made 77. Was he 77?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, my dad died 4 days after my 7th birthday at 39 years old of an aneurysm in his neck.
Oh.
And so I didn't even hardly get to know my dad. I don't have many memories of my dad at all. So look how blessed you are with all the stories you have and all the knowledge you have that he has shared with you. That you know, you're really lucky.
James Henry has joined us. He's one of the anchors. Shows up all the chats. And by the way, James, I hope you brought enough for everybody.
Well,
James and I grew up maybe 10 or 12 miles apart and never realized it until we met again on these chats. So it's interesting. Of course, you're about a year or two younger than me, James, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, what are these?
But I'm just coming back from the Turkey Creek division. We had our train show today, so I helped out with all the contest room. So I was in there all through that, and I didn't spend a dime. I'm surprised.
You.
I'm glad you could join us, even if it's in the car.
Now, what are
You
these?
went to a train show and didn't spend money?
The only thing I did was I bought a NMRA shirt, and that's it.
What are these chats I keep hearing about?
Who said that?
And Mike O'Dorney here.
Oh, Mike. Wednesday night is AML chat for patrons, and then Saturday I host Saturday Night Model Roading Live, and it's usually starts around 3 p.m. Hawaii time, which is 6 o'clock West Coast time, 9 p.m. East Coast. And you're always welcome to join us. I could send you a link.
That'd be great.
Will do.
It's the same link as we're using right now, if I recall right.
Well, no, I had to create a whole separate chat for this one, James, because of the time change. And I also wanted to change the title. It's not Model Roading Live today. It is for Ralph.
Yeah, it's Ralph Renzetti's wake.
Well, I like to call it a celebration of his life.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, please send
And
me.
I think we all remember good things. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, send me a link. I'd like to drop in again.
Absolutely. I've been keeping a list of everybody who joined today just so I could send a thank you to each one of you for coming in, even if you haven't had a chance to speak.
Well, thanks for setting this up, Neil. This was really great. I'm terrible at Facebook Messenger. Then when I suddenly found that it was on, it was like, oh, wow, what a great idea. And so I very much appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Neil, and thanks to the Renzettis for joining us. That's really nice.
Very
No,
much so.
thank you guys.
Thank
I
you.
did.
Yeah.
I did invite Mike Ostertag, although he and Andy and I are sort of not on the same page lately. So I guess he's not feeling like he wanted to join us today, but I'm sure he feels strongly about missing Ralph.
Yeah, Andy said he was going to join. I watched that podcast and messaged both of them, and Andy accepted my friend request. He said he'd be here, but I mean, it's all right.
Yeah. Okay. Just a lot of us are associated with the Modeler's Life, and those guys have started what they call the second section. And if you know anything about passenger trains, the second section is the passenger train that follows the first train of the name train. And so I always thought that they were naming it as a tribute to the AML being the second section of that. But it's really taken a life of its own. It's occasionally fun to listen to, but it lasts for hours and hours. And I'm at work, so it's challenging.
Well, and somebody was mentioning before just how many other people that this is just some of the people that he knew through these chats and podcasts and things. And I was going to say, if you ever went on a model railroading second section or some other thing like NMRIX or something like that, Ralph was on them much more often than not.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they mentioned that on the second section that like he was on everything.
Mm-hmm.
He was a part of everything. So that was.
There was a Zoom call that my club has here, Southern Indiana Model Railroad Club in Jeffersonville, Indiana. One of our guys, Darcy, would do them every other Friday, and he had turned into a regular on my club Zoom call, just sharing information with people and talking about painting and weathering, and just always have an opinion about something when somebody was talking about something, and give ideas, and and that's just a little small club down here in Southern Indiana. He took the time to get on with us every other Friday night and do that also. So he never stopped giving. The guy just always was willing to give information and was happy to do it.
Matt, you mentioned something about Ralph being right, but he would call people out if he felt like what they're saying was out in left field. He would not let it go either. So,
well, and that's the kind of like thing I'm saying that like I know him as a dad. Like there was no like normal volume voices in our house, especially if there was an opinion that had been had, and it's translated down to my house with my kids. It's like there's no talking at normal volumes. But I kind of take that like how he was with us. If he had an opinion about something, he would probably express it. Now, whether he was right or wrong, but to your point, I mean, if he believes something, he would definitely, he would definitely say something.
I've had a couple of people. I saw somebody on the Facebook page, but also had a very dear friend who passed away quite a while ago now. And Jim would say to me, Ralph can be really annoying with his opinions sometimes, but he was always right.
Yeah.
He wasn't always right, but we can remember him that way if we want to.
Lionel shared a snippet from a conversation between Ralph and another modeler, and they were going at it. I mean, language that I don't use.
I'll add something to that real quick. Some of you guys may know and some of you may not, but Ralph was a admin in a group that I also admin in also. And it has to do with detailing as far as model railroading goes. But there was times where he would send me screenshots or asked me if I had seen how someone was commenting on something and asking if his approach was right. I feel like if you don't poke the bear, you don't have problems. That some of the comments, like that was just mentioned, they were a little expletive, but he kept it civil until someone started to be rude, and then he was rude back. And I like that because there's a lot of guys out there that even in real life they wouldn't say half the stuff they may say behind a keyboard and a computer screen.
Right.
Yeah, it was like a couple months ago, out of nowhere, we had a person on the Mother's Life chat starting attacking my religion out of nowhere. And basically he stood behind, Ralph stood behind me and, you know, demanded the person to apologize. The idiot never did, but, you know.
I can tell you my dad was the kind of guy that didn't take shit.
Yeah. Well, and that's to be respected on in any way, shape, or form. And sadly, I think some of you guys may have seen how this Zoom meeting went not too long ago, and that's how some people are in the hobby, even though they try to maintain I'm everything that the hobby needs as far as a person, and that's not always the case.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Somebody just put a picture in the chat. You mind if I share that?
Yeah, go ahead. Everybody should be able to see it, but yeah,
it's still loading for me, Linda. Oh,
oh, is it? Oh
Yeah.
no,
it looks like
taking a
AI.
while to upload.
Can you do that?
You have to turn sharing on, Neil.
Oh, good point. Yeah, we had someone bomb us earlier. You know that, right? I was a little worried about that.
Was that a person in the community?
Not that I'm aware of.
It was just somebody bombing Zoom because they wanted to, I guess.
You're good to go, TC.
That guy was Alex, and he was a fake because you figure anybody with the name Alex is going to be put on for a long time.
Ralph was right.
Yeah.
I just thought that was very, very good.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that. I'd rock that
Nice,
on.
Linda.
Feel free to use it. However, I just consulted with my AI partner here.
Oh, so that's your fault, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. She put it in the chat. I didn't know if everybody could see it or not.
I guess it's slow in loading.
Another chap that's not on here tonight, this morning, tonight, whatever. I can't keep track. Daniel Banks, he and Linda both love the AI.
Listen, I had 45 years to argue with my dad. Probably 3 of those I didn't speak very well, but I think it's only recently in the last year or two that I actually was right. So, but I can say I was right and he was wrong. So, I don't know where I was listening to another podcast. Someone said, Ralph, where do you learn? I have no idea how he knew what he knew, but you could ask him a question about anything. It didn't have to be model anything. It could have just been like, I asked him something about steam off eggs before and he had an answer for me.
I don't know about Ralph, but I've been accused of, how come you know so much? Because I'm retired by force and I have nothing to do but read.
Well, Ralph likes to talk.
I can tell you this, growing up, so he was our baseball coach. He helped me rebuild the engine in one of my trucks. Actually, I remember one of my early memories is working on the van we had. We had an 82 Ford Econoline, the 15-seater, and we'd go like on long family trips on that. And I can't remember what. I remember there was even before that there was an old. What year was the Cordoba? It was 82 or something like that.
No, 75.
Or 75. I remember at one point the heads went on that, or the head gaskets, and with the help of the guy next door, I remember all the engine parts laid out on the driveway. So like my dad, everything that you could think of, my dad knew how to do.
Yeah.
I never, like I said in my post when all this happened, like when I come up with those questions, my dad was the guy I asked, and every time I got an answer. So who am I going to ask those questions now, right? But
he often talked about his first car, the so-called little hot rod that he had. I don't remember what it was, but it was kind of like
He had a
like
little mini.
Austin
He had a
Healey or
little
a
mini.
Sprite or something. I can't remember
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah, it was
a Mini
a
Cooper.
Mini.
They souped up.
Yeah, Mini Cooper. Yeah.
I remember him telling me a story about that car, about when he first got it. He was so like right into it, and he got the thing running, and he completely forgot to make sure the brakes were working. And he took it down the alley, and he got it up to speed, and then realized he was not stopping. Thank God it was a Mini, because he took the corner like a champ, like a go-kart. But he said we couldn't stop it. But yeah.
Drop a gear and hope that you can stop. Yeah.
Yeah, he probably had a manual transmission, so that probably helped.
That definitely had a manual transmission. I don't think they had I think it was a 70 or 67 or something like that. I can't remember what year it was, but
I don't know about Canada, but back then they weren't really available in the States.
Well, they were up into the late '60s, but then they
oh, were they? Okay.
outlawed them because of either the size or the bumpers.
Huh.
I remember getting a ride in a pretty hot one up in St. Catharines one day. So
did it even have a seat belt? Yeah.
I can't remember. I can't remember now. I just remember feeling like I was riding on, like right on the road. It was
of course, you got to remember that Mini was about half the size of the current Mini. It was a tiny little car.
Yeah.
I remember a story he used to tell my brother and I when we were growing up. He had this Mini, and I mean, back in the day, I mean, you would race for pink slips, right?
Oh yeah.
And he was into all that stuff. So there was this guy that was going around saying, "Oh, Ralph Renzetti, blah blah blah." So he raced him for pink slips, and he won. And my dad was never a bragger. He was never out in the wild saying how good he was at something. So when he won this race, he said, "I'm not going to take your car, but you're going to be my talker so that I can race other people." And they went on to have a friendship where the other guy would say, "Oh, you can't beat Ralph, he sucks, whatever." And my dad would go and race and all this stuff. So that was his story with his Mini for me.
Just some details from that story that I remember as well. It started because, so if I don't know if you guys are familiar with the CNE, the Canadian National Exhibit. My dad used to work there way back in the day. As you know, it's 2 weeks at the end of the summer. There was a roller coaster called the Mouse, and he also had the nickname the Mouse because of his friends, he was the shortest, and of all his friends, he had the Mini, and they all had the Corvettes and the Camaros and the Mustangs, and that's where all the shit talking happened. And my dad finally had enough of it and challenged the one guy to that race around one lap around Mossport. And I think my dad said he waited at the finish line for like 15 minutes. He didn't have the balls to show up right away. But yeah.
Yeah, I had an early Morris Minor in 1954. Those were small cars. For a 6'4" guy to get in and out of those was a challenge.
You mentioned the Mouse at the CNE. Now, there were a lot of them around the country. And I'm just wondering if anyone has ever built a model of that roller coaster.
Now, what interesting tidbit, you guys call him the Mudfather. I was going through photos to scan them for his funeral, like a slideshow, and I came across he's got a photo book, but it's all his drawings from when he was, I don't know what age. It would have been elementary or high school, where he used to draw concept cars, and his nickname was Mouse Renz.
Close friends.
Yeah, so little nickname outside of the Mudfather.
I don't remember how the Mudfather came about. Maybe someone else does. Just because of his, I don't know. There's one guy, the podcast that he shows up on, likes to give everybody a nickname. Oh, I think everybody here has one.
I think it was Marty Jenkins told me about it the other day, but I've forgotten now. In one ear,
Yeah.
out the other. I think it was Marty.
Yeah.
Come up. Sure. Yeah, it was way back in the early days. Yeah.
Bruce might remember. You were there from the beginning.
I really don't, but I was reading somewhere. I thought it was on one of his other YouTube things, or because
was
he
on
was
another
Italian and in the sort of like the godfather of weathering. That I think he called himself the Mudfather. It's part of his deal.
I think it was on one of the other podcasts from memory.
I think it came from YouTube Model Builders, I think.
Maybe that wasn't working,
I'm
Matt.
not 100% sure.
Yeah, usually when I hide my face, it will work, but
I don't know.
I'll find out for you, Matt. I'll ask Martin later today, and I'll text it through to you.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there. Yeah, that was it. That was it. Yeah.
I got a text a moment ago from Adam Pinellas, and I don't know if you're working today, Adam, but he's a conductor on Amtrak.
Hey, how we doing?
And there he is.
Hey, you hear me?
Yeah, and Adam's also an avid musician or wannabe, and collects a lot of beautiful guitars and restores them. How you doing, Adam?
Pretty good. How you doing, Neil?
Right on. I don't know if you wanted to say something about Ralph. We got the whole family here.
You know, it's funny. I don't think Ralph and I hit it off the best right off the bat. I think we both thought we were really good at what we did, because we both did the same thing, airbrushing. You know, that was our thing. And he had an awesome flex with airbrushing because he was super good at it. He had a lot of experience teaching and showing and educating people about it. And I was just some cocky kid that was sponsored by Iwata in doing automotive stuff and thought I knew everything. But it was cool when we finally, when Ralph and I finally like set aside our, you know, who was better. We actually, it was fun. It actually really got fun. I think he to me, he always just seemed pretty kind of stubborn, and me too, you know. So, but I think that because we were both stubborn and wouldn't let it go, made us a lot better friends, you know. And it was cool because I always knew that he would be willing to talk. Didn't matter really what time even. I don't think that guy ever slept. Didn't feel like he ever slept. I know, because I know I never did. And I'd log on at any time, day or night, and it seemed like he was always there talking to somebody, teaching somebody something, and it was really cool to see. I really enjoyed him, and I'll miss him.
He should be in the dictionary as a description of stubborn, actually.
With his picture right next to it, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, when you said that you were right, did he agree to that?
He didn't disagree.
Okay.
I kind of have a memory of probably why we called him the Mudfather back in the day. We were talking about some model car diorama that he had made. He was showing us all the rust techniques that he could put on the car, and it had mud on it. And so we were all talking about, like, that mud looks really real. And so it's kind of like, you know, you're so good at this, you must be, I think we'll call you the Mudfather. I think that was sort of the conversation that kind of came out of that meeting, that hangout that we were doing back in the day. So that's my assumption of how we came across that one.
Yeah.
Somebody said it.
Do you think
Yeah, I
that was
think
the model with the VW bus in the junkyard?
Probably, yeah. It was a
I
real
think so.
dirty kind of model or something.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Jason, you were there, right?
I believe I was.
I didn't send out a link, invite to all of the guys on that former group. Don't have a direct way to reach some of those guys, but Andy, I thought he might join us today.
Neil,
I
can
don't
I
know about
interrupt,
him,
please, for a minute?
Sorry, Bruce. Yeah.
I've got to go, so it's been wonderful sharing some stories. My condolences to Jane, Guy, and Matt. It hurts, and it will hurt for a long time, but you got a lot of support from a lot of people, and you found out how much Ralph meant to a lot of people. So
Yeah.
carry on. So
Thank you, Bruce. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thanks,
goodbye,
Bruce.
folks.
Thank you.
Aloha. Aloha.
Yeah, I've got to go too, but thanks again, Neil, for doing this. Really, I mean, I was just a casual acquaintance of Ralph's, but it hit pretty hard when I got the news, and so this is real helpful, and I hope it's helpful to the family.
Yeah, Roger, I know how you feel. Thanks for showing up today and sharing.
Yeah.
The neat thing about
Take care.
The neat thing about Ralph is that his legacy will live on YouTube and AML and Model Radio and all the other podcasts and Facebook and all the pictures that he's done. It will always be there for us.
Absolutely. Yeah. He talked me out of this slide away section I have to get into my staging area. And he said, you should put it in a drop leaf, right? And he was adamant. And so I took out the slide out section and we talked about how to make this drop leaf. And I still skin my head all the time. It's ridiculous. Didn't quite solve the problem.
You need to get one of those short chairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
actually have one. I'm just too tall.
If anyone needs a short chair, we have some.
I finally found the comment I was looking for. Martin Jenkins wrote down that the nickname came from YouTube model builders because Ralph was always talking about his Italian heritage. So they nicknamed him the Mudfather, Godfather, Mudfather. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Adam, I hope you're having a beer for me down there. It looks like you're. Cheers. Not quite noon here yet, bro.
So, Ralph, does that mean the only thing good in that restaurant is the beer?
You mean Adam? Yeah.
Adam,
Winnemucca. I don't know how big is Winnemucca anyway.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so I'm sitting in a little bar right now, and it's kind of hard to hear, so I keep putting it up to my ear. But Winnemucca is well, I've just walked around the town, if that means anything.
Winnemucca is a proverbial white spot in the railroad.
But I'm going to tell you what, I love this town. This town is a fun little town. I come out here with my guitar and just kind of busk around town during my Saturday, and I've had more fun here since I started doing that than I ever thought I would.
You're a busker, Adam.
Starting to.
We got to get Matt Renzetti down there. You guys could get a show going.
I was going to say, I forgot to mention with Ralph. I remember the very first, like I said, when we hit it off, or when we met. I don't know how many years ago it was actually now, but like I said, it was always just a little bit of cat and mouse back and forth between me and him. And I remember the very first time that we both threw out like painting advice or whatever, and he agreed with me. The first time he actually agreed with me, I thought I won the lottery. I thought I was like, oh shit, maybe I actually did something, right? Like it's like, and after that, it was kind of like every time we'd start talking about things, it was always we'd throw things back and forth. And it was like, yeah, it was like, all right, I finally made it. This guy Ralph agrees. I'm actually doing what I'm supposed to do now. But and the only other thing I want to actually add is that whole saying, may I offer a suggestion?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I didn't realize it.
Adam, you joined this call like an hour after it started, and this may I have a suggestion. I don't remember this growing up, but clearly this has impacted like a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny because the way he would say it, it was like he would
Like
say
saying
it,
you're
it was
wrong.
like,
Yeah.
he would say it in a way it was like, you know what, you are dumb, and I'm going to tell you how to do this.
So
You
it'd
know,
be
it's
like,
it's like
may
it
I
was- it
make
was-
it?
it's the nicest way to like, hey, you have no idea what you're doing, and I'm going to tell you how to do it right now. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm pretty sure that phrase has saved, I don't know how many fights between me and my wife, because
well, my mom will tell you that would start a fight because she
Yeah.
she knew him
well,
so well.
and I
it
think
would
I
start a
read
fight.
that. I think I read her saying that, and I was like, wow, that's really coincidental, because I must have been a true asshole, because whatever I was saying before, and now I'm saying this, has saved marriage counseling and God knows what else, because whatever I was saying before had to drop in the bucket to, may I offer a suggestion? My wife says I'm soft now,
Well,
like,
Adam,
so-
you haven't even been married for a year yet, have you?
it's been, dude, it's 4 years, coming up 4 years now.
No way. Has it been that long? Okay.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah.
But anyway,
Adam,
I just
think,
one of
I
the
think before
Hello, Marty.
I think before Ralph started, it was would usually say your name a few times. You go, Rod, may I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
if that's not a
The
we
one
don't
time
have
I
teachers.
asked Marty a question, he went and bought something. The one time I asked Ralph a question, he gave me exactly what I was supposed to be doing.
Well, I think Mike Ostertag said in that second section thing, he's like, Ralph would be like, well, if you want to do it the wrong way, go right ahead. And I mean, that's kind of how I grew up, but
Yeah. Exactly. It's your railroad, he'd say. Marty Jenkins, we didn't get to see
How
Dave
are we?
Abeles. Hey, how's it?
I just dropped Dave off at the airport. They're on the flight back to San Francisco, and I'm on the freeway heading back to the Gold Coast.
Did you slow down at least before you kicked
You're
it
on
out?
the wrong side of the damn car and need to get on the right side of the freeway right now.
Yeah. I'm on the correct side of the freeway, and I'm on the correct side of the car as well.
You're doing some weird shit, Marty.
Well, they're all
You're
upside
supposed to
down
be in
for
your
us
right lane.
anyway. Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if you guys know this, but their turds flush a different way.
Yep.
Good seeing you, Marty. This one's for you.
Yeah.
So yes, I just dropped the Abeles clan off. They're all heading back, and they had a ball here. So yes. So now it's head back to home and back in the shed.
When are we going to see you again, Marty? You coming out for the next national?
Evanston.
And I'll be there in January for Springfield.
Ah, you and Rod, eh?
Yep.
Yep.
The double trouble.
So I don't have to push the wheelchair around then.
Whose wheelchair?
No.
For the blind guy. Nah, I'm just kidding.
So, Marty or Rod, should we warn the security guys at the gate that you guys are going to be coming?
No, why give them a heads up? They'll find out when we get there.
All I
Yeah.
can say is we took one cruise up to Alaska, and it was filled with Aussies, and that was quite the experience.
Yeah, we're good fun.
Even in the dining room, all of a sudden you'd hear a big table explode with "Oi, oi, oi!"
How about that?
Yeah. And that was just them getting their bacon and eggs.
Yeah.
Well, their alcohol's a little different than ours, I think.
Yeah.
Neil,
Yeah,
I
they're all
have to
driving
go.
backwards.
Hey, Brian, thanks.
I just want to say thanks. My condolences to the family, and I'll see you guys next week.
Okay.
All right, cheers.
Thank you.
And I've got to go off.
I need to go as well. And this is where,
I'm sorry to
this is
hear
where,
about Ralph, and we'll all get through this together.
All right. Yeah. Thanks to Bob. And Marcus, you're headed out as well. Did I hear Michael leaving too?
I'm
Yeah.
headed out as well. I was going to say, this is where Ralph would say, "Oh, here we go," because everybody on a
Yep.
Wednesday night chat,
Yeah,
or
we
everybody
began.
starts leaving. And
Everybody's
it's almost
going
one,
to
it's
bed
almost 1
now.
o'clock in the morning my time, and I'm leaving, and he says it's early, so.
Or it was. Hey, I got one more question for you. That was the favorite one that we had in YouTube model real rovers. Someone always say, "Hey, I got another question for you," just to keep you on longer. and
Right.
longer.
Yeah.
So,
Yep, that's right.
That was typical.
have a good night.
My condolences to the family. Thank you for having this, Neil, and thanks for everybody.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Sign off myself. And my condolences to the Renzetti family. And thanks, Neil, for setting it up.
Thank you
Of
very
course.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Looks like we're probably coming to an end now. So just thanks everyone for joining. I really appreciate all of you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That goes
Yeah,
for
I
me
gotta
too.
figure out something to drink now. It's almost noon.
Well, thanks to for the link for I think it's Thursday.
You bet.
I'll be joining. I'll be watching on stream. So thank you for
I don't know
arranging.
what you're gonna watch yet, Rod. We don't know what's gonna happen, but
Well,
we set it up for you. So
no, that's fine. You'll probably be talking a little bit about your dad and where he was born and what he did in his life and things. I would imagine.
Yeah,
something like that. Bit of a eulogy. So look forward to hearing
it.
more than what I know now. Yeah.
That's Thursday, right? The 28th.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what
So that
time
might
of day?
That might be a bit early for you, Neil. What time is
Yeah.
it for you right now, Neil? It's noon.
It's not quite noon. Yeah.
So it's like, is it 8 minutes to noon?
It is 8 minutes to noon. That's right. Yeah.
So what time Thursday are you talking about?
It's 12. So it would be
Yeah, 6 a.m.
6 a.m. for you, Neil.
I can do that. At least until I get to work.
I'll have to work it out.
Will you be recording?
Be another early morning.
What was that?
Will you be
No
recording?
worries. It's 10 to 8 tomorrow morning here.
Ed, I don't know the answer to that yet. I know there's a live stream. I don't know if they are recording that or not.
I think it'll just be a stream. Usually they just stream them. Yeah.
Likely.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's UK time. Nice time for UK time. So
yeah,
see if I can.
Yeah. The live stream is on the on the website, but I can say if any of you want the link, I can send it to you directly.
Yeah, or put it in the chat. We can just copy it.
Okay, hold on.
Or in the chat that we have online, that would probably reach more people.
Yeah, Neil. Also, you know, I mean, if you want to remove us, you're welcome to. But I wouldn't mind kind of just sitting in the background and listening to you guys chat in that group.
Just remember, we're not always so nice.
I don't give a shit about that. Neither am I.
Don't have your dad policy line now either.
Yeah. Well, I'm personally gonna. I mean, I don't know what Neil said something about having to leave at some point, but I was just gonna stay here until somebody closes the chat room, or I go to bed, whichever comes first.
Well, that's what Ralph would do. He would stay on almost to the end.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Ralph would say, I gotta go, but and then he'd start talking about something.
Unfortunately, I've got to go. It's just before 11 p.m. here, so I need to
Good to
start
see
heading.
you. Thanks, Peter.
But yeah, okay, guys. But yeah, condolences to the Renzetti family, and I'll see if I can hopefully get on the stream on Thursday, 28th. So, but yeah, he'll be greatly missed by everyone. Yeah. So,
Thank you.
yeah. Okay, guys. All right, and thank you very much, Neil, for setting this up. Much
Thanks,
appreciated.
Peter.
Thanks for the invite. Okay, guys. Cheers. Bye. Bye.
I'm gonna take off here too. Well, I'm gonna head back to the hotel and get ready to head out later tonight. But I do just want to leave one last thing. It's like this 2025 has definitely brought a lot of change, especially with people that I've looked up to. It's like I can take 3 heroes right now that have left: Ozzy, Hulk Hogan, and Ralph Renzetti.
That's the caliber, eh?
And if nobody else puts those 3 together other than me, then damn it, I'm glad I did.
Thanks, Adam. I'm glad you could drop by.
I love all you guys, man, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of Ralph's life. And I'm glad to call him a friend. So if I'll jump back on as soon as I get back to the hotel. But if I don't see you guys again, love you all, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adam.
Well, I didn't tell Jane, but a couple of months ago, a good friend of mine tried to take his own life. And so that had been really a struggle for us for quite a while. He did a number on his body. And then this happening to Ralph has been just quite a shock. So I felt like if anyone's going to do this, I just wanted to be the guy that could help get it started. I'm glad everybody could come.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Neil.
I appreciate it, Neil. Yeah, that was wonderful. And Neil, I love that you called on that Sunday. It was such a hard day for us.
Yeah. No, I didn't really expect Ralph to answer, but I'm glad you guys did.
Yeah. Well, luckily Guy was here, so he can manipulate the phone, because we still haven't been able to get into it because I don't have his passcode. We have his little password book, but it doesn't have the passcode into the phone. So
he has an Apple phone.
Yeah.
You have his Apple ID.
We do have the Apple ID, yeah.
Contact Apple with the ID, and you could use it to get into a quote locked device and change the password from the back end. But you'll have to talk to Apple support, and they won't be open till Monday. So,
right.
Well, Guy almost looks enough like his dad that if he has Face ID, it might work.
You know what? It's funny because that was the first thing we thought of, was that my dad was laying on the floor downstairs and we could unlock the phone. But the first thing it said was your passcode is required to use Face ID. But to your comment about the phone call, that was his hearing aid was around the house. We didn't know where it was, and when you called, the phone was constantly connecting to his hearing aid. So I was
that's what it was. Yeah.
I kept having to press the button to go to switch back to speaker, and then 30 seconds later it would want to connect to the hearing aid again. So that's the issue we were having with that phone call. But yeah, it was a tough day.
Did you ever find the hearing aid?
We found it, yes.
We just found it today.
And funny that you say that, Neil. Going through all his photos and scanning them, there are photos that my dad and my brother, my God, those two look the same.
Yeah.
Actually, Matt, Al was here earlier this morning, and he said he looked at my hands for something, and he had a flashback of Dad showing him something in the garage, and said my hands look exactly like Dad's hands too.
Yeah, you just need to shave that beard.
That's a good beard.
I mean, For you and Rod, sure. I had one like that one time in my life, but no, get rid of that.
A rod
That
was
never
much
came.
longer for a while. It looked like someone from ZZ Top.
That's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah, there's a guy up in Mesa that was at the convention back in 24, and his beard, before he shaved it for the convention, because he was contest chairman, his beard was like, he could eat off of it down by his stomach.
Well, these guys know I still live at home, and that's why I was fortunate when my dad passed that my brother and I, well, my brother moved back in when he got a few health problems, but it was good that we were home for mum when dad passed because she'd be on her own as well, and she's threatening to shave my beard off one night when I'm asleep, so I freak her out. Sleep with one eye open. Yeah.
My wife threatens to shave mine off as well.
You guys need to let them know it's supposed to catch crumbs and stuff, so later on you can use it as a strainer for tea and things like that.
It's good for
very
catching
useful.
cannoli.
The survival skill.
Exactly. When the apocalypse happens, I'll always have something to eat.
That's right.
There you go.
These are horrible reasons to have it that long.
But they're not bad.
I have to shave mine literally every other day, and yet it's still whatever,
I've been offered jobs at Christmas time too.
Jeez.
Actually, there's a picture of me dressed up as Santa Claus with my brother.
Yeah, I have that on my phone.
Sure is.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I used to dress up as Santa's Claus and sit out in my front yard and hand out candy canes.
There you go.
Well, look, appreciate everything you're going through, guys. Hang in there, support each other. As I said before, you'll get through it, and just remember, you'll never forget your dad, and Jane, you'll never forget your husband, but you always remember the good times.
Yeah.
And I know the boys will miss Dad and asking him questions, and there's still certain things I wish I could ask my dad, like how do I turn that particular section of a retic on? That's a real pain in the butt. But you work through things, and it doesn't get easier, but you learn to cope, and you will get through it. Just support each other, and you'll be fine. But thank you again for sharing, and look, keep in touch with us as the community said earlier. If you need anything, I mean, I'm a long way away physically, but if there's anything I can do to help, we're all here for you. So yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank
You
very
guys-
much appreciated.
You guys take care, and the rest of you will see you when we see you.
Thanks, Rod. You've been a really good therapist for me. I'll send that check in the mail for you.
Yeah, good. I'll need it for Springfield.
Yeah, I bet.
The Aussie dollar's not too good at the moment, so yeah.
No.
All right, buddy. I'll catch up with you later, buddy. I'm going to ring you later this afternoon.
All right. Cheers.
See you guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. That reminds me, I wasn't going to do the afternoon chat today. So those of you who know the link, I probably won't log on. In fact, I haven't even had breakfast. This whole thing has kind of gotten me worked up.
Yeah. Well, it was wonderful that you put this together for us and invited us. I can't
I thought it was
say.
important that all of us could talk about it,
Yeah.
get it out.
We needed this too.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need.
Yeah, I was on Saturday, and I had just gotten on. I was late, and everybody was there. Ralph wasn't there yet, I thought, and I said, "Oh, I got to ask him a question later." And then they got a phone call from the Denver group. I had to go work on their website, and while I'm at it, Neil shut it down, and I didn't know what happened till the next day. And it was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Just, and I only knew Ralph from this chat, and I guess I met him back at on YouTube because I was involved with that YouTube Model Builders, but I don't remember him from that. Hard to believe I don't remember Ralph from something, but
Yeah. Well, apparently he had logged on, but I guess he never managed to actually participate.
Well, he was always early, Jane. He always logged on about an hour before I did, and so he was waiting for people to log on before he showed up
An
and
hour?
interact. Yeah, usually about an hour before our chat began, which is early for you guys, 3 o'clock for me. So I think he was on around 7 instead of
Yeah,
eight
well,
o'clock
that's when
when
he
I.
went. That's when he went downstairs, was 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
And so I guess your chat didn't start for our time till 8.
Until
Is that
8. Yeah, yeah, that's
okay?
right.
That makes sense. And I was trying to figure out that timeline there. But yeah, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah,
Shitty
yeah.
situation, that's for sure.
We've been
Yeah.
doing this, I don't know for how many months now, but for quite some time, Linda, that's a
Linda
crack up.
strikes again.
We need to have his face on the if it's me, I make a suggestion and it needs to have his face.
Yeah.
Well, it needs to be one of the screenshots where he's looking really intense. Can I make a suggestion?
I have a few screenshots. I'll see what I can do. If anybody has a good one.
Well, occasionally I took one while we were chatting, but it usually includes like 12 people, right?
Yeah, I'll try.
I've got a lot of them when he was sharing pictures that I snapshotted the screen. I might be able to blow his part up because the things he did that he just amazed me so much that I had to take pictures of him, show them to my friends, my other model buddies.
Yeah, he always answered any question. Had a suggestion about any subject we were talking about. I don't care who brought it up on the chat. Ralph had something to say. Just, yeah.
By the way, was it cold down in the basement? He always seems to be wearing a sweatshirt.
Yes, because in the summertime, obviously, we had the AC on, the air conditioner, and it would just travel down. The cold air would just travel down and right down to the basement.
I see.
So yeah, so that's why he would always have it draped on the back of his chair, which was like we have a back split, so it's just a matter of a few steps from the kitchen down to the family room, and then from the family room down to the basement. There like not long stairs, or not many stairs. So he would always have his hoodie on the back of the chair, which kind of was the back of the chair kind of faced the basement door, sort of. And so he would say, "Okay, I'm going down to the basement," and he'd whip the hoodie off the back of the chair, and then down he'd go.
Yeah.
I have one from January 2022 and another from April 2025 here. Includes a whole bunch of us online.
Mm-hmm.
Just to give you an idea
Linda
of the
Linda
temperature
was
in the
just
house,
showing a
O'Neill.
picture.
Just to give you an idea of the temperature in the house, O'Neill. If you remember, you probably wouldn't, or you might remember it, but it didn't affect you. Was when the whole Eastern Seaboard power grid went down back in, I think it was 2003 or 2004. We were going through a heat wave. I was the only one home, and I could not spend any time upstairs. I had to go down to the basement. It was the only place that I
It was
could
cooler.
get some sleep because it was just so hot. But it was a nice, cool, comfy temperature down there.
Well, we live off the grid. We've been on battery power and backup generator since 1994. And nowadays, everyone calls me a pioneer, but back then I was a crazy guy.
You're still crazy.
Yeah, that's a good one, Linda. That's a real good one. I don't know how to share that. Maybe you can.
If you put it in the chat, I can share it. So
Well, it's on my phone. I'm trying to get it to
Actually,
my
yeah.
computer.
I just realized that my iPad mimics what's going on my phone, so maybe I can grab that.
I'm
See
able to
here.
download it right from the
No, I think that
from the chat.
I think she made a
Oh,
picture.
okay. Yeah, I don't know how to do
Oh,
that
are you
right
talking about?
I didn't put
yeah.
it in the chat here, but I sent it to the to Neil's
Oh, you're
group
talking about what
on
you were showing
Messenger.
on your phone?
I
Yeah.
have it on my phone. I'm trying to get it to my computer.
Oh,
Or
sorry.
By
send
the
it
way,
to the computer.
I apologize. I didn't realize Saturday Night Train Goobers could be offensive to some people. But I named it that because someone was using it to describe me as in a very snide way, and I thought, "Yep, that's exactly describes me exactly right." So that's why I started naming it that.
Hey Neil,
here.
consolation to you. My cover photo for my Facebook account was a Teletubby with a shotgun.
All right, we're not all crazy. Yes, we are. Oh well.
I'm happy to be here. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, that's
That is-
the
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
it. Ralph, look.
Typical shot
I
of
mean,
him being.
if you couldn't have a better picture of that dude, you know what? We should make a shirt for Ralph that says like happy, sad, angry, pissed off, whatever.
And it's all the
same
same.
face.
All the same face, right? Because I've actually, funny story is that Leon has made a shirt about me that has all my same face because I obviously get it from my father, but you know, it was hard to, unless you knew him, it was kind of hard to tell whether he was excited or upset or pissed off or whatever. He just always had that same face.
It could be like what Andy Warhol did, where you have all these pictures.
Oh
but it has-
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a quick question for the family. I've been racking my brain the last week. And I know on the link that you guys shared in the chat for the obituary, there was nothing showing. I'm not sure if that's because you actually had to be a member or have an account set up with the platform that the stuff was posted on.
On the
But
funeral home or for
the funeral home, yeah. One of the things I was curious about was there something that, or a group or an organization that Ralph would have, if he wasn't in modeling, if you will, is there an organization or something that we could have made a donation to?
there is, it's all updated now on that Ogden's like on his obituaries. There's the problem is when you click on it, it'll show you like the service information, like the visitation, the funeral, and then the burial. You have to click the drop down menu and it'll show the obituary. It'll show like donations and to what he would have picked for donations and all that stuff. So it is updated. We had some trouble with the funeral home and them doing it properly, but if you click that link now, it should all be there.
Well, I asked that question, and I know we've been kind of throwing around this T-shirt thing. If we were able to get something made, even if it's one T-shirt, to where other people in the modeling industry as a whole, across all the platforms that seen your guys' dad and husband stuff, if we could donate some of those funds that we generate from those T-shirts to those organizations or group, I think that would be amazing.
Ralph didn't have a particular charity, but we always, when we donated, I was always the minister of finance in our family, so I would always say, well, we're gonna, how about donating to this, that, and the other. Well, Ralph had a little bit of hypertension, and he also had a little bit of diabetes. Like well, you don't ever have a little bit of diabetes, but it was very mild, and it was nothing to be concerned about. And he was under the control of the doctor and had some low dose medication for both of those situations. And so we always gave to either the Heart Fund or Diabetes Canada, or diabetes, whatever, in whatever country you are, I guess they must have their own. And then with all of these stuff going around in the world, I had put in there, because Ralph was very annoyed with some of the stuff that was going on. And so we put in Doctors Without Borders as one of the charities as well. And then I just said, whatever, like this was particular for people who were visiting the site. And I said, whatever your favorite charity is, just donate to, to that. So, and of course, I had forgotten to put in the Cancer Foundation. I mean, not that there was any cancer in his family, but like his father had died of heart issues. And so it was, that's kind of the way we leaned. But nothing ever written in stone or anything.
Well, let me ask you guys this, like this shirt idea. I mean, there was 26, 29 people on this Zoom meet. Like,
We hit 29.
would anyone actually outside of this 29 actually you think want to buy a Ralph Renzetti shirt? Like, I was thinking more just for the family, but if you guys think we should open it up to the community and make something funny or whatever, I just wonder if like it might rub people the wrong way or something. I don't know.
No,
If it's something that, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to say, if it's something that has to do with someone that was in the modeling in general, that's why I kind of said more than just outside of railroading, because I know there's a lot of people that I'm sure have seen his work, knowing that he has passed, unfortunately, but knowing that they could have something that would go towards a cause bigger than just, and take no offense when I say this, that the idea of trying to go back to family. One of the things that I have found since I've been in social media over the last, several years, is there's a lot of people that try and collect money and try and run scams on stuff. And by no means do I think that would be something that I think you guys would do. But I think if it had something to do with Eving modeling, some of the train societies, places that he has visited, something that would keep him alive, more past just the modeling aspects. I think there would be more people that would buy it outside of just us. Honestly,
I would be open to donations to something within the model railroad community, except I don't know what those places would be that would actually benefit the model railroad community.
I was actually thinking about this.
The
I was
Colorado.
actually thinking about this for the last 15 minutes or so. I don't know how you guys feel, but maybe like you guys could all kind of be ambassadors for it, but like the local hobby shops and getting kids involved in modeling, getting that next generation and teaching those guys or those kids the modeling that my dad would have been doing.
Yeah.
Michelle Kippema was.
We can do it just local, wherever you guys are. Go to your local hobby shop and organize something, and we'll give out shirts for that. Like,
that's possible. I think
you guys would know more than we would on the best way to do that.
I even think the Colorado Railroad Museum with Michelle Kippema, she and Ralph were they were friends and they do a lot of things with kids to encourage kids to come in and do, and it's a great organization that would be a good donation to, and I'm sure it would make Ralph proud, because we're good friends.
Can we get with Michelle possibly some way? If I even have to do it, I'm completely willing to see if she knows of other places outside of just Colorado that we could make those same donations to.
She probably would.
I would be open.
Yeah,
obviously,
I know Michelle pretty well, and I can have a word with her. And the other thing is, we can also do something to the NMRA as well. Maybe even start an award up through the NMRA, which will then take it internationally.
If there was some sort of like weathering award, like the Ralph Renzetti, that would be. I mean, I'm saying this not knowing the actual level of what he did. I don't know if that would be inappropriate, but
it should be
what awesome legacy that would be to have some sort of like.
Should be the Get Off My Lawn Award.
It was
Well, he
whatever it is. We
Get
can
off
Should be
my
the Get
lawn.
Off My Lawn Award. Yeah.
Yeah, get off my lawn and go to your basement.
Yep.
if
And
you
if you're
remember,
going to bed, go directly to bed. Don't go past the fridge. that was
if
his,
you
that
guys,
was his
if,
other. That was his
yeah.
other statement. Every time someone went to bed, it was go directly to bed. Don't go via the kitchen.
If you
Yeah.
remember, he did sponsor a contest and he challenged people to join that. I can't remember what it was, but it had to do with model building and weathering. I'll have to look back through my stuff.
Down and dirty weathering or something
Thank
like
you.
that.
Down and dirty weathering contest. Yeah.
Blood
Down and-
The
required,
guy
I
that
guess.
did that contest hasn't done one for several years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was that? Who was that through?
I can't remember. I can go back and look. It wouldn't be hard to
Yeah.
find.
Yeah. I was
But,
trying to
like,
find that too.
is he actually considered like the best weatherer? Like,
There are other guys that attempt it. Yeah. So
I
but he's
like
up
that.
there.
That looks good.
That is good.
He's got the whole sweatshirt and everything.
But
Uh,
bottom kind of been stripped, kind of running up into the body without interfering with locomotive.
Linda, can you add that one to the chat, please?
that's pretty
The
funny.
The YouTube channel. That,
Yeah, it takes it a minute to upload, but I'll get it going.
I'm sorry, that Down and Dirty Weathering contest was done. YouTube channel JC's Rip Track. I've got an email somewhere in my account for him, but he was the one that did the contest. It's been 4 years ago that he did the last one, but he was doing them there for a while. I think I caught the end of one, and then it's the third one that he was doing.
I mean, how awesome would it be for his legacy to have some sort of award for a weathering contest? That would be awesome.
You know, if it was something that you and your brother would be up to, and Jane as well, if it was a matter of his name being on that award, you guys would be the ones that would judge what we're getting.
Oh my goodness, I don't think we'd have the knowledge to do that fairly. I don't think. Maybe Guy and maybe Matt, but you know, I know what I know the kind of caliber of work that Ralph did, because of obviously I saw what he was doing, but I don't think I could be qualified to the only, you know, that brings to mind just one more little story. I can remember there's a street called Ellesmere, and I was going west on Ellesmere, and at this particular major intersection there was a railroad bridge that went across. And Ralph had really been into the weathering quite a bit at that time. And the traffic was fairly heavy, so I was a little bit like, you normally would have to get to the intersection, you'd have to go sit under the bridge. And this time there was a fair amount of traffic. So I was sitting back there, and as I'm waiting, I was in front of the bridge, and this train started to go across the bridge. And here I am, and I'm checking out the rust marks. And I went home and I said, Ralph, I've been living with you too long, because I'm checking out the weathering on these things.
yeah, my wife was at a railroad crossing, and there was an unusual train, and she took a video, and I said, "Why'd you do that?" She said, "You."
Yeah.
We'll
I
be
just sent you
driving.
I just sent you a message, Linda.
We'll be driving up the Columbia Gorge, and my wife will be seeing trains before I see them. On both sides of the river.
Where do you live, Ed?
Aurora, Oregon, south of Portland.
Oh, okay. Because we lived in Portland for a long time. I was at Columbia Gorge Railroad Club.
Yeah.
First time I rolled in there, I just got into the living center from being in rehab. So I'm like 28 years old, don't know anybody or anything. And so 4 guys picked me up, wheelchair and all, took me downstairs. And everybody sharing everything. I think about Ralph, and I think about that, and I think about other situations where, you know, it was all about the hobby while you were at the club or on the Zoom or, you know, YouTube model builders, whatever. And yeah,
TC,
everybody was
excuse me.
very open.
I don't want to interrupt. I just want to recognize Gordy Robinson is calling us from the Orkney Islands of Scotland. He is the president of our association, the National Model Railroad Association. And I'm glad you could come, Gordy, just to say hello to the family. I guess we're all family, eh?
Yes.
That was very Canadian of you as well. I mean,
Yeah.
got the A in at the end.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up on the border, eh?
Hey. Oh yeah, Ralph's a big loss. Big loss. Ralph came and did the first ever remote clinic into the British region and into the British region convention, and it was funny because he did it on the Friday evening of the convention. Of course, in Canada, it would have been just after it was just after dinner in the UK, and it was just after lunch in Toronto and Canada, and I'd organized the tours that afternoon, and I'd taken everyone to a distillery, followed that up by taking them on the train where I'd organized a whiskey sommelier, and then they'd had dinner in this hotel, and there'd been a lot of alcohol consumed. And I remember Ralph's first words were, "You didn't tell me everyone was going to be drunk, Gordy." I said, "Well, everybody's here." He said, "Well, they'll not remember any of it. They're all pissed as farts." And I remember shouting to the group and saying, "What does Ralph think of pan pastels?" And they all shouted back, "Don't use them." And he was very impressed. And at one point, I think he was still talking. He was still talking away, and there was alcohol entering the clinic room as he was talking away. People were disappearing back and getting bottles of scotch and things like that, and he was loving it. It was hilarious, as he was basically giving a clinic to an absolute party. Model Railroaders on the other side of it, but no, Ralph is just one of a kind. So I'm really glad that I got to virtually meet Ralph and have his mentorship, and I know a lot of other people are as well. So and he was always, yeah, there was no bad ideas, but there was always Ralph's opinion. So that would be my view on Ralph. You know, there was no bad ideas, but there was always going to be Ralph's opinion, and you were going to listen to it. And it was usually a very, very solid based opinion on. When in 2020, when we said, "Oh yeah, we're going to do this 24 hours of clinics," he was one of the first people to say, "Well, put me down for one."
Nice.
So
Yeah.
always.
And thanks for including me too, Gordy. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like you say, it's just a family, right? Just you're asking generally people jump in and support the family, and that's the same with model railroaders. You know,
yeah. Actually, I met Gordy in person. I'd forgotten he's one of the few people we actually, and Marty Jenkins, almost 1 year ago now. Yeah, Gordy.
Yeah, in Long Beach. Yeah, Long Beach. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a real one of the things that's going to kick me in the teeth, and this always happens to me, is if I hadn't had the family with me, and I'm glad I had the family with me, and especially just because they can hear it. I had the family with me in Detroit, but if I didn't have the family with me in Detroit, me and Marty were going to come across the border and go up and see Ralph and see Bruce and everybody. But it just couldn't make it work with trying to get I couldn't take the risk in the current circumstances of having the family broken up at the border or anything like that, and half getting in and half not getting in and stuff like that. So we decided not to do it, but I wish we had.
Yeah, you would have loved that.
So I didn't. you know.
That was this year, right? Because I remember
This
Ralph
year,
talking
yeah.
about it. Yeah, we were concerned that something would happen and you either wouldn't be able to get back into the States or something would get messed up.
Yeah, that's right. So it's a shame.
Yeah. But I'd like to say I kind of knew Ralph was he was quiet, but he always told me about these guys, the one in Hawaii and then the one in Australia and then there's a guy in some little islands up north of Scotland. I said, well, that's got to be the Orkneys. And yeah, I think that's what it is. So I was kind of following you guys sort of secondhand through Ralph.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's awesome. Yeah. One other memory I have of Ralph is I learned very quickly never to try to say anything Italian or try to pronounce anything Italian to Ralph. Right? My mum speaks fluent Italian. She might teach me how to say it, but there was Ralph's way of saying it, and there was someone else's way of saying it. So I gave up trying to pronounce it.
Yeah.
But I always loved my Italian lessons from Ralph. He'd always be like, "It's gnocchi" or something else, saying it wrong. And you can never have too much basil, and you can never have too much cannoli, and you can never have this.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. And God forbid anybody put a pineapple on their pizza. That was
Hey.
that was it.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
where
my God.
that's where we differ. Okay, that's where we differ.
Okay, so I've dabbled with that a little bit, and it's not too bad, but it's not every day. I'll admit that.
You guys, I just picked a pineapple off one of my plants this morning. If you haven't had fresh pineapple, you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man.
But there's a difference between pineapple from the garden.
When I lived in Taiwan,
in Australia, we put banana on pizza, and that really blew his mind.
Banana.
when I lived in Taiwan, when we first got there, we were staying at a hotel, which was rather modern, totally surrounded by what in the U.S. would probably be considered shacks. But I mean, you'd see like 5 or 6 different roofs on one house. But anyway, we went down to the street fair. And there's, just tons of stuff all lit up with lanterns. And one of them had pineapples in it. And I mean, everybody knows about pineapples in Hawaii, but there's an area in Taiwan where they grow pineapples. And there's a big factory there with a pineapple juice fountain in the lobby. That's how many they grow. And so my dad buys one and he slices it in half and then puts salt on it. And we're like, what? But with the fresh pineapple, you put salt in it and it pulls all the sugar to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it
sweeter.
sweeter.
Ralph's mother, and he sort of carried on the tradition, was she would slice up oranges and she would do the same thing, a little touch of olive oil on the slices of orange and then a little bit of salt. So there you go.
Yeah, and I haven't tried that.
Gordy, I'm so glad that you could show up. I know that you've been busy. You're always a busy guy anyway. But it's getting kind of late for you, I imagine. It's what, 11:30 your time?
Yeah, but it's all right. I'm just following up I'm just doing my actions of my meeting that I've just come from, so don't worry.
All right. Jane, you may not realize, but Gordy has been responsible for a lot of new members into the NMRA, the national organization, just because of his fresh new outlook. He's a younger guy, has great outlook and ideas. And I think a lot of people follow and agree with him. And I am one of them, and I'm really glad to be part of it.
I joined NMRA because of Gordy, hearing about him on A Modeler's Life, and made me want to join and vote for him. And since that time, I've had 4 friends and 1 son that have joined also because of it. And thanks to Gordy, our whole club has turned to all NMRA members came on a call with the club one night and talked with everybody, and we were finally able to get that all passed, and really appreciated Gordy's help, which he did late at night once again. And yeah, it's he's just the best. I don't know what we're going to do. He's going to be a hard act to follow.
Well, Marty here too is our worldwide board member. And he likes to make his students cry, but that's a different story.
I'll be retired. Don't worry, I'll be retiring at some point.
Yeah, right.
I've got to retire at some point.
No, we're going to keep you in there. We're going to change the bylaws.
The bylaws are all you want. The wife makes the decisions.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm doing.
Smart man. You know, it's funny because Wednesday nights and Saturdays, for that matter, my wife would go, "Hey, it's Wednesday. How come you're not up in the train room?"
I get. You better not be up all night. And then at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'll get a knock on the door, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, the door will open.
I got to walk into the train show with your wife and children and the young man that was escorting them, and I had a chat with them a little bit, but they seemed really, really nice, and I'm so glad you got to bring them and enjoy them with you being there. So that was really special.
Yeah,
keep time with them. You when you serve your term, you have a family to raise. You deserve that.
Every train at the moment, every steam train in the world is a big boy, according to my 4-year-old. And he's decided that diesels are big girls. He decided that there should be if there's a big boy, there has to be a big girl. So he decided to name one of his diesels a big girl.
You said he's 4.
4.
I live in 1920-21, Gordy. There's no such thing as a diesel on my railroad.
He would. Don't worry. He saw a GS4 in daylight and said, "Look, there's a steam engine called Big Girl."
A big girl.
Today he's been learning about how we make a helix. So today we 3D printed and made a helix.
For N scale, I assume.
Yeah, double track helix and N scale.
Yeah, okay.
And so we're working on that. We've not quite progressed to block protection and stuff like that. But and his mum's going to have to teach him all his weathering and stuff now because I've not got Ralph to do it, and I'm colorblind, so I'm useless. So I model December for a reason. December, January, and February are the only 3 months I can model because it snows. So.
The only reason I'd weather anything is to cover up all my modeling mistakes. You know?
Every mistake teaches you 10 things you didn't know.
There you go.
So let me
ask it always looks better if you put a little mud on it.
Yeah.
So
in architecture, you just hire a landscape architect and it fixes everything.
Or you go with my motto, we know it's done right because I've done it twice.
So let me ask you guys this. I hear all these comments about the pan pastels and how my dad was like, clearly he had a really strong opinion against these. Anyone have a story about that?
Well, he was very talented, but he didn't think these powdered paints belonged on our moving models, on the scale models. He thought on buildings and structures and stuff like that, scenery, perfectly fine, but do not put them on a locomotive, right? And I think the reason is because it's so easy to mess it up. You know,
it makes sense. Like they would come off if you touch them.
If you blow on it, it'll come off.
Blow on it goes everywhere.
It was that bad.
Yeah.
So it wasn't good for.
I'm sorry.
It wasn't good for handling, and if you clear coated it, they kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
Blew it off.
But I think Bragdon powders was his thing.
So
for scenery and structures,
scenery. There's that one won't work. I'll find it for you. There was an NMRAX clinic that he did that's on YouTube that we videoed, and it's on YouTube, where at the end of it, we deliberately lined up in advance of it a load of questions about pan pastels. So that video at the end of it has got every Ralph quote on pan pastels you can think of, because they'd lined up every question they could think of asking him about pan pastels. At the end of that video,
Like,
so I
what
have
the
to
hell
dig
is
that
going
out.
on? Well, on that second section podcast, I thought it was funny that Mike Ostertag said, like, if I could put one thing in his casket, like I had been reading all these posts about him. And then when he was like, if there's one thing I could put in his casket, it would be pan pastels. And then they were like, he'd probably like come back alive and say, like, really?
I honestly think that was part of the reason he reached out to me. I was doing and still am doing a technique with oil, odorless thinner, and powders, not pan pastels. And I had shown some pictures, and I've actually still got a covered hopper that I was doing some work on and still doing the same thing to. And he asked me what I was doing. Unfortunately, at the time, there was other people that were kind of bashing me, but at the same time, water under the bridge, as far as I'm concerned. But that's the initial reason he reached out to me, was to swap ideas and find out what I was doing to get the effects that I was getting.
I know
For him to know as much as he knew, he definitely had to listen to other people's opinions. That's for sure.
Well, he listened, but he also gave them as well.
I'm sure he gave him. We 100% know he gave his opinions. That's
for sure.
That's my dad.
A lot of
As I said,
people.
like, the summary of Ralph is, there's no one has a bad idea, but I always have an opinion. That was your dad, right? And that was what made him great.
Yeah.
He never told anyone your idea was rubbish, but he proceeded to explain to you why it was rubbish. And that was what was so great.
Well, I think that's
you knew it was coming. You just knew it was coming.
One of the things too with the hobby is you have people out there that are seeing you work, and they may not say a lot. And I've heard you guys say Ralph was kind of quiet. And it's like, man, he wasn't, to some extent. Like he would be the first one to say something or ask a question before
So
anybody
I'll
else.
rephrase that. He was quiet, but if there was like if you did something wrong in his eyes, he had to tell you. Yeah, let me give you an example. This is my wife's story that she says. He would tell you how to put the cup of your coffee cup. If you had to reheat it in the microwave, he would tell you exactly which way to place the handle, so that when it finished its 30 or 1 minute section, it would be in the perfect position for you to grab it.
Oh, that sounds like Dad.
Like, that's the kind of detail, and like why he would have to share that with anyone else. I mean, that's my dad.
And how would he know that? Yeah.
Well, how many experiments did it take to figure out exactly where the cup would end up after you?
But I think that's part of his journey, right? Was like the experiments were fun, and that's why he was good at what he did.
Yeah.
Even with weathering, it's about trial and error. You always try something, fix the error. And if he burned his hand grabbing that coffee cup, he learned pretty quick.
Yeah. The funny thing is, like, we never saw the errors. That he never shared those. He would be like, "Oh, here's the finished product," right? But yeah.
Oh, Gordy just shared that.
Oh yeah, Gordy just put up a list of Ralph's clinics, links to the clinic.
That's
thank you.
When you're ready, watch them. That's 3 hours of bliss of him in his element.
3 hours. Oh my God.
The very first clinic we did on the very first NMRX clinic we did was Ralph. So he started off the whole NMRAX thing. And I was hosting that night, and of course I get excited and start doing things, and next minute I'm being told that I started the show 15 minutes early and everybody else is only just joining, and Ralph's halfway through his clinic. So I just interjected and said, "Hey Ralph, you've stuffed up. You've started too early. Can you go back to slide 1 and start all over again?" And without even rolling an eyelid, he went straight back to slide one, and it was like we started the whole thing all over again. And then at the end of it, he gave me a piece of his mind about you need to get more organized and get off my lawn.
I remember that. That was brilliant.
And that's actually on there. So if you go on there, you'll actually see him start the clinics. We recorded it. And then
I'll find you the link to that. I've sent the chopped up there. See, you've just gonna. I'm gonna get off. You're gonna give him a get off my lawn in a minute. I'm gonna give him the edited ones, not the entire thing. But like, oh
yeah,
because he was the first one. I'll give you the link to that when I find it.
You know, I'm
yeah, that was funny.
I was watching some the other night, and they're great to watch.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be upset when I started to look at the first video of him, but I wasn't. It was just so good to hear his voice again.
Yeah, what a blessing that would be.
Yeah.
No, they'll be up there, so always go for them.
So a little secret for you guys, and I don't know if maybe it's not a secret. I don't know. I know years ago my dad was kind of like he was doing the airbrushes. He was kind of like a rep for them. He was a rep for AIM powders, and I don't know how they compare to pan pastels, but he used to use powders, and I've actually still got a case of different powders from AIM that he gave me because he wasn't using them anymore. But just so you guys know.
Interesting.
Put those in a box and never get rid of them and never use them.
Right.
Well, you talked about Bragdon powders.
Sorry?
Bragdon was a brand that he used?
Yeah, Bragdon.
Yeah, I don't know that one. I only know about the AIM powders. And then like the MiG and the AK stuff.
Right.
Guys, I'm sort of fading fast. I need to get something to eat. It's 1:45 here, and I haven't had breakfast or lunch. So I'm going to leave this chat going. I made our rabbi the host, TC.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it. Go ahead.
Yep. Neil, thank you very much.
Yep.
Okay, guys.
Hey,
thank you.
Neil.
Thank you, Neil.
When you get a chance, give me the link. I'm going to post it on to the Facebook group with the model builders and the model railroading live.
Do we want to?
I've never edited an audio before, but I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
We might want to edit that thing out.
Neil, you might want to know, Neil, I just stopped and had pancakes for breakfast.
Well, thanks for letting me know, Marty.
Yes, so I just wanted to let you know that just so you weren't concerned.
I hope you had bananas and whipping cream.
Whipped cream.
In fact,
I've got a coffee. I've got a coffee now.
Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, that's something I could use. I have two dozen banana plants out here, and there's bunches and bunches of green bananas. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, the ones the birds don't get.
Now, as soon as they start turning ripe, you cut them and put them on the porch and watch them all ripen at the same time. I'll be back. I thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Neil.
Okay.
We'll be here, Neil.
Well, I've got to say myself, it was a pleasure meeting the family. I'm once again, my condolences are so sincere. And after losing my wife 14 years ago, I know how hard it is to lose the one that you love. But I was lucky enough to find somebody again. I'm very blessed. God has been very good to me. I don't know what I did to deserve that, but
well, thanks a lot, Gary.
yeah, I was. But yeah, I just know where you're at, and like I said, I lost my dad when I was 7, and it just it's hard to go through. It really is. It's a tough.
Yeah.
But you pick up on the strengths and the memories that you loved and the things that were happy and that you enjoyed, and those are the ones that carry you through remembering those. So
Yeah.
well, thank you all so much for coming in here tonight. That was so nice of you all.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jerry.
God bless.
Thank you. And I'd like to thank the rabbi for the blessing at the beginning. That was special.
Yeah, I thought of that when I was trying to wake up this morning, last night, whatever it was. And just thought that would be, I thought it would be nice for people.
Yeah. That was wonderful.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna head off to bed. It's almost 1 a.m. here.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Keelan.
But
Yeah,
thank you so much,
you're on the other
Jerry.
side of the ocean.
Yeah, I'm in Denmark. I'm in Copenhagen. Yeah.
Right in downtown Copenhagen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, guys, for sharing. That was very comforting. Nice to hear. And Matt, Guy, and Gita, I love you. And see you. Okay. Bye.
Have a wonderful night.
Thank you too.
Bye.
Yeah, I got to run away
Okay.
as well. I think we're all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to keep it open for a while. Whoever wants to pop in or out or whatever.
Yeah, I think
Well,
at this point.
we had breakfast here, and now I have been eating so erratically over this week because my whole schedule has been upside down. But we had breakfast this morning, and now I'm starving.
Well, yeah.
It's
thank-
almost 7:00.
Yeah.
7 p.m. here.
I can't believe this lasted 3 hours. So, thank you,
No,
everyone.
wow.
If anyone wants to hop off, I mean, you're welcome to. But I appreciate every single one of you.
Yeah.
It means a lot for everybody just to connect, because sometimes people pass away and you lose contact with everyone. The family you don't really know, and you just don't hear anything. And this means so much.
Yeah.
And,
Well, you're the I always say these train guys, you've really helped us all. You've helped us all through this. It's been amazing.
and we're still around.
Yep. Oh, and there's the train lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if like someone else has said, you guys need anything, just pop us a message or let Neil know. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm way down in Arizona. I'm other end of the continent, but.
Yeah,
Well,
as I said, anyone wants to send a Facebook invite or whatever to, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't do Facebook, but oh well.
That may be a wise thing.
Probably.
Yeah.
At least now you know.
dodged that.
Now you really know the mafia that Ralph was really involved.
I sent you one, Matt.
Oh, thanks, Linda.
Now you guys have at least met the real mafia, the real worldwide global organization that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
very well connected and in all different parts of the world.
Yep, even in the future.
Yeah,
for sure.
Get them lottery
Because
numbers sent out, right?
It's 10 to 9 Sunday morning here, so you're talking to the future. And Ralph always used to ask me for the lottery numbers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Of course you would. Those horrible jokes of his.
Yep. He'd say, Marty's here, tomorrow's coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you imagine a conversation. Imagine how confusing a conversation generally is when it's got me, Marty, had Ralph and Neil on it. It was like you're 24 hours in one conversation. You just don't know what day it is. Never mind what time it is. It's crazy. Oh, good fun. Trying to coordinate NMREX. What time is it starting? It's going to be UTC. We have to explain. What's UTC?
Remember, the world is round. It's different times.
Yeah.
Upside down. Yeah.
Yep.
It just made it even funnier when you all went early. so funny. That
Yep.
was really funny.
Okay.
And we got told off. We got big time told off by Ralph for that.
Oh yeah, at the end of it when he came offline, he was not a he rolled with it, did it all, did the clinic, and at the end he goes, right, who stuffed that up?
That was super funny, that one.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, I think I'll be off too, and just a thank you to everybody,
Yeah.
and hope you have a a good rest of the day or evening or tomorrow, whatever the case may be in your area.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here, Jane. It was
Yep.
my condolences, and it was a pleasure meeting you virtually, and Matt and Guy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Yes.
you, Lee.
Our thoughts are with you. I know that it's not going to be easy, but you will live through it.
It'll be different. It'll be different.
It'll be different, but the memories are wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we
I
definitely
agree.
have good ones.
Yeah. And you guys have really helped us along with that one, I think. Hey, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's
He
been
was
a big.
Ralph's other grandson.
Oh.
Wanna
Hey
say
there,
hi?
little one.
He's the killer of this one.
Is that shirt tasty?
This one's the troublemaker.
Yeah, that face, eh? Nothing but trouble.
All right. Well, thanks so much, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Yep.
Yep.